Hello, everyone, and welcome to we're the Miscast now. Welcome to the Miscast episode 2. Uh, we are here to talk about Release the Beast 3 teams, and I'm joined by Stuart. How you doing, Stuart?
I'm doing well. I just realized it's actually called Assemble the Beasts,
Assemble the beasts,
not the
assemble the
Beast
unit.
Within. Um,
No,
but there we go.
I mean our naming convention has gone out the window. Like it's completely gone out the window. Um, right. So, we have got like a list review show planned. So we're gonna talk through all the lists that are gonna be playing at this pretty big team TTS team event that we've got. But before that, Stuart, you wanted to talk about the pack and all the boring admin stuff, didn't you?
Yeah. So just while we've got everyone's attention, we're just going to quickly talk through the pack. I'm not going to talk through all this kind of stuff at the start here because all of you have done that already in terms of the sign up and that kind of thing. But just in terms of the timings and that, so right after this show, at the end of the show, we'll do the matchups, and then you have until midday on Wednesday, GMT, to do the matchups. Okay. Um, if you don't, then we have a process written here, but basically we'll end up randomizing the matchups if they're not done by Wednesday. So please get the matchups done by Wednesday so that you have until next Monday midday to play all the games. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now for the matchup process, so you'll do the matchup process, and then there's a Google form. I'll give the link after the show, but you'll basically have a Google form like this, and you just put it in there. This is the best way for us in terms of making a spreadsheet. So you put it in here. The defending team submits that. So
Stuart, I'm just gonna interrupt you here.
yeah,
You've failed to mention that what we're doing is a six-player team tournament. This is what this event is, right?
for
Do you
the
want to talk
YouTube
about
people.
that,
Yes.
you idiot?
Yeah. Yeah. But this is a specific thing for people playing. But basically you'll submit it at this Google form here. So there's 6 maps. Okay. And yeah, the defending team will submit. Now the defending team, we're going to randomize. When the rounds are up, it's going to be the team that's on the left. Okay. And they'll end up being the defending team, so they'll submit the matchups. Okay. All right. So yeah, so it's a 6-player tournament, and we're just going to quickly demonstrate the matchup process, aren't we, Luke? So it's quite similar to the Worlds event, which we're trying to emulate here. Right, but okay, Luke, are we ready?
Yeah, Stuart, and I suggest you grab a cup of coffee or something, mate. Wake up, sir. It is early morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So let's quickly do this matchup process. So in the matchup process here, I'm going to be the defender. Okay, and Luke's going to be the attacker. Okay.
Because you need
Okay.
your mic. Cheers, Matt.
Okay. Right. So the first thing that's going to happen is that the defenders put forward one army. So if I'm the defender here, let's say I put forward the KO here. Okay. And then in response, the attackers are going to submit 2 armies.
Awkward versus shooting. And then we have Beast of Chaos also.
Okay, and then the defenders select one army from the 2 that the attackers have just submitted. So maybe we go Beast of Chaos here. Something like that, right? Okay,
And
cool.
obviously, this is actually Stuart's team and my team. We've just got models to represent what's going on. But this is the process. So that's one of the rounds sorted, is it, Stuart?
Yeah, so that's map 1. So you'd write that on the form. The defenders are playing KO versus Beast of Chaos, right? That's the idea here. Okay, right. And then the attackers put forward one army. Now, it can't be this army. Okay, that's the important thing. It can't be this army. So he has to pick something from here. Okay?
Nurgle.
Right. And then the defenders put forward 2 armies. So let's go Legion of the First Prince because we want to have fun, and other Nurgle. There you go. and then you pick one from there. Okay.
So then it's the attacker's turn to pick. So I'll pick the Nurgle mirror.
Yeah. Okay.
In this case.
Cool. And then that goes back. All right. Cool. Okay, so that's the first 2 stages, and then in the third stage, the attackers are going to submit an army first, and this can be this Slanesh one. Yeah, that one's back in the pool. Yep.
Back in the pool. So he wants another go. He's very sad he didn't get picked first time.
Okay, and then I just put 2 forward again. Let's do that.
So is it all obviously apart from the last match? It's always going to be picking out of 2, right? So submit 2, and then the other person picks one of the 2 opponents. Cool. Seraphon are easy for Slanesh to deal with. So we'll go with that.
And then again, I can't pick this one in the next step. So you put Legion of the First Prince forward.
I submit 2. So that's Khorne and Skaven.
Okay, and then let's put Khorne. Okay, so then it looks like this. Now the last 2 maps are slightly different. So basically, what happens here? Obviously, the defender's going to get to choose the matchups really here. So if you put so this is Beast of Chaos. Luke puts his remaining 2 armies forward. Okay, and then I'm going to say, okay, Skaven are going to play Beast of Chaos. Legion of the First Prince play Living Cities. Okay, but Luke gets to pick the map. Okay, so this is map 5, map 6. Luke gets to pick which map these guys are going to play on. So he might be able to swap them around and put the this stuff over here. So they're going to play on map 6. They're going to play on map 5. Okay.
So it's pretty much 2 matchups each, and then obviously just because of the way matchups work, with the last one being obvious, the defender will get an extra 2 matchups, but to compensate, the attacker will get to be able to pick the maps on that those last 2 matchups happen. Yeah.
Yep, and we've designed the map pack, which I'll just go to now. Sorry, I've lost the pack. Where are we? Over here. Design the map pack. So on 5 and 6, there's often kind of a bit of a swing going on. So you'll see. Yeah, you'll see. Where are we? For example.
You've got Feral Foray, right? Which is
yeah.
That some armies excel at, and some armies will struggle with if they've got a low model count because it's a high objective map. So that's sort of where you're hoping that the attacker can offset the choose something a bit more powerful, despite not having the full say of the list versus list matchups, right?
Yeah, but especially in the later rounds, we've got like power and numbers and survival of the fittest. So if someone's got really weak battle line, then even though they might get a good matchup last, you've got to watch out for this power and numbers thing here. And then in the later ones as well, there's like tooth and nail, so people who rely on reserves and stuff, and then apex predators here, for example. So we've tried to structure it so that there's some interest in these last 2 matchups here. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. So for anyone paying attention there, we revealed our teams. Are you done with all of the admin-y stuff, Stuart?
Yeah, I think that's done now. Yeah.
Cool. So that's the matchup process that we're all going to be doing over the next 6 weeks or so. So if you could please make sure you read that pack to get it right. I know it's slightly complicated putting models forward. It's not, but make sure you read the pack and we can get it all sorted. But what we're all here to talk about, Stuart, is the teams themselves and the list that they're bringing, isn't it?
And here we go. Okay, so we've ended up with 18 teams.
Oh, baby, that's a lot of teams, Stuart.
Which is a lot. It's 108 players. Yeah.
This is a big tournament.
Yep. From all different parts around the world. And, 6-player teams. And there's no... So, I mean, it's quickly a pack thing, but there's no, like allegiance limits or anything. Like, you don't have to have destruction armies in there at all. I know Team TO has gone all chaos, just to spoil it. But yeah, but you can any sort of structure you want. But the limitations we did have were in terms of no repeating of artifacts across armies and war scrolls across armies and stuff. So if you have a Kraken Eater, Mega Gargant, and Gargants, you couldn't also have them in your Seraphon army. Basically, that was the restrictions here.
Things like endless spells, the generic command traits like Master of Magic and artifacts like the Arcane Tome and stuff as well, didn't it? So only one of each of those things per team of six, and then obviously no duplicate war scrolls or duplicate factions within those six. So let's look at the first team, Stuart, to show the people what sort of lists and team setups people are bringing. We've got five Toffs, a Russian, and an Aussie walking to a bar. So that's
Yes.
seven players. So I think it's four Toffs, Stuart.
Well, maybe there's one that's both. I mean, they win the
Sure.
award for the longest name already, so I mean, you're already winning the tournament, you know. Um,
And if I'm right, I think there's some heroes in this list. We're starting off strong. We've got Peter Ironside Dixon, who's a bit of a legend at this point. With his ogres, Stuart, what's he got?
so he's got Frostlord, then two wizards, two Knights of Mournfang, six gluttons, and then two big Stonehorn Beast Riders, and he's got Life Swarm
Six
in there, and he's a one drop. I think this is a great list. I really like this.
six gluttons, Stuart. How are we feeling about six gluttons in AOS 3, otherwise known as the safe stack meta? How are we feeling about gluttons?
Well, I mean, they're not good, but he wanted Life Swarm, so that's why they're there. That's fair.
Okay, so we want to prefix this. The last show that we did, we talked a lot about cool lists, right? Bringing stuff that maybe isn't commonly brought to tournaments, isn't necessarily billed as the top meta pick. And I think we're looking at one of these lists here where Peter's going for some cool points, and I think it's great. You got three monster trucks, some wizards. I mean, well, he's in Blood Gullet, which is the correct way to run this list, right? With the healing is what he's trying to stack up on here, right?
Yeah, it's got a lot of healing. The command ability from the Blood Gullet's going to give his gluttons rerolls to wound, which is it's not awful, not particularly great either. Some rain would be nice, but I mean, really the gluttons are there just to clear crap though. Like he's got the mortar wounds and the rend in other spots in his list, so I actually quite like them in this sort of list. I mean, there's still probably a bit of an overpriced unit, and maybe 4 Iron Guts would have been better, but I can definitely see the argument for them in Blood Gullet. Yeah.
Screens has become something that in our conversations, Stuart, I've noticed it comes up a lot. We're kind of liking these units that are slightly more pricey, slightly more substantial than the unit of 10 whatevers, like 10 Three Guild Guard or whatever, to do the screen, which are obviously an important part of list building. But we're liking these units that act as screens and also fulfill the role of clearing off the other person's screen as well. You know, you saying that the Ogre Gluttons are that exact sort of thing in this list.
Uh so I've run them with that goal in mind before, and it hasn't exactly panned out. But I mean, I've just found that they actually lose the grind to a lot of things that they shouldn't. But that's unfortunately that's gluttons for you. Yeah, they're just quite squishy at the end of the day, for their points. So you got to keep that in mind, really. Hmm.
I think Peter's kicking off with a great little list here, and ogres always historically do better than we think they will at these tournaments, right? We've always um, been proven wrong with it when it comes to ogres, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So what else is in this team, Stuart?
Okay, we have the only
Shit, I wasn't ready for this.
we have the only Sylvaneth list of the whole tournament. MJ Pegasus, who's running. I mean, why don't you talk about this, Luke, being
I
the
feel quite
Sylvaneth
guilty, Stuart.
expert?
I
Yeah.
feel like the blind's leading the blind here because MJ Pegasus must have watched. I know he was avidly watching our last tournament, Release the Beast 2, that we've just finished. And I think he thought, oh, that Luke fellow, he's onto something. I'll let you know now, MJ Pegasus, he wasn't. But what what he's done is he's gone for the Warsong Revenant and he's gone Gladeless. So he's gone the Spell Singer command trait, which allows him an extra 6 inches on the spells cast by the Warsong Revenant, and he's made the Warsong Revenant a 3 cast with the artifact there. So the combo is Bone of Vines to get +2 to cast. Spell portal at an extended 6-inch range. You can set that spell portal 24 inches, and then you do the war scroll spell from the war song called Unleash Spites, and that's a 15-inch radius because you get +6 from the spell portal. So what it is, it's an AoE bomb that can usually cover the entire opponent's army, especially early on in the game when things are more clumped up. and you think that's great. That's all I need to do, and I can over 2 or 3 turns. I'm going to take a lot of stuff off, and I'm going to kill all their support heroes, and then chip away at their screens, battle shock some stuff off. Um, but spell casting and miscasting is the thing, isn't it, Stuart?
Well, I will say though, Luke. So he's put in Alariel here. So even if he
He has.
miscasts on the Warsong spell, at least he's got the backup. You know, he can stick the portal next to Alariel and the Warsong Revenant, and then you just roll both of them, and hopefully you get one off, right? So I mean, I know Alariel's is a lot worse than the Warsongs here, but at least he's got some
I still
redundancy,
think
right?
I still think Alariel's spell, which is Metamorphosis through the spell portal, is great. I've been using it in my more combat focused Winterleaf list that I've been running in real life, and it's fantastic for sniping off a support hero or something like that, and you can get a tree after it out once you kill something as well. But we've mentioned Alariel, we've mentioned the War Song. Other than that, Stuart, there's not too much in this list because it is after all a Sylvaneth list. So he's got a Tree Lord Ancient, 20 Dryads, 15 True Revenants split into units of 5. He's obviously got that spell portal, and then the Vengeful Skull Root, which is quite a powerful endless spell. It can do D6 mortal wounds, but it's quite short range and slow moving. Um, how do you feel that this list is gonna stick up, Stuart, to some of the other lists that we're gonna gonna come across later on in the show?
Well, I mean, there's always the thing of you could bust a lot of your team to get a good matchup with this list. Now my issue is I'm not entirely sure what a good matchup would be, especially into a lot of the the mega try hard teams, my team
Um,
included.
um,
Where yeah, I mean, what do you think would be a good matchup for this list?
so if it wasn't for Alariel being a big key part of this list, I would actually say into shooting lists it kind of does okay. Because the fact that he's got the spell singer command trait there means he outranges pretty much everything. That bomb that we were talking about has a 39-inch total range, which is huge, and he can hide the Warsong Revenant in trees, to stop him being shot. But Alariel can't hide in trees, and she doesn't like being shot. So I don't know. He's how many drops is he? He's a 5 drop, so he's not going to be out dropping a lot of things, some things, but not a lot of things to get first choice of turn. Ooh, I don't. Yeah.
I actually wonder whether you just bust him and just hope you roll well. I think that's actually probably like the best approach personally, but
Put him into a hard list that you're probably gonna lose.
not
But
like
if
not like I
you do,
wouldn't put him into like the strongest list in the game, but like you put him into something A tier and like you just hope you roll well, because if you do, you probably actually can win. Because we were saying last event like this list can win against everyone and lose against everyone, which it can't win
100%,
against everyone. It cannot win against dragons. Like it just won't happen. But
before it's spelling. But what it wants to
yes,
fight is MSU sort of stuff, and it wants to fight stuff that's not super potent on the magic defense. It doesn't want to go up against Croak with his +3 global unbind, and it doesn't want to go up against Nagash and Techless and stuff. But I'm thinking maybe things like IDK that tend to run MSU. Maybe things like um KO.
no,
Uh,
no, no.
no, no.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I actually think if you play against Seraphon and you just roll well across you just get all your spells off regardless of the magic defense, I think you got a pretty good path to victory. But I mean, it's slim, definitely, but a very
the
fun
problem I
list.
come with it, it's all casino and but I wish Matt. I'm going to be watching this list. This is already one of my like hero picks. This is a brave man. He's been representing the trees for a while. Um, and I know that he's got a soft spot for them. Um, and they're definitely full of soft spots. This list, but I I hope he does well. I hope he wins a game, Stuart. I hope he wins a game. Right.
Okay.
What else is joining these two legends?
All right, we got the first of many Soul Blight Gravelords list in this tournament. Which I think we're gonna start to speed through them as we go because a lot of them are quite similar. Basically, he's got all the buffs that you would want for the Graveguard, and then he's got some crappy battle line with the zombies, dials, and the skeletons. But the 40 zombies here they can absorb the buffs from all this stuff up here. So if he loses his Graveguard here, he's still going to have, the option to buff up those zombies and do some damage. But the real stars of the show are the 20 and the 10 of Graveguard. I mean, even the 10 of Graveguard with all the buffs is going to, like, seriously slap with all these buffs here. So, yeah, and he's 2-drop.
Yeah, I'm getting with the exception of Belladama, I'm getting a whiff of Nikita list here. So our winner from the last tournament, Nikita, who ran the Soul Blight to a 6-0 victory, had this sort of list where it was Manfred, a couple of support heroes, and a load of crap. There's a bit less crap in here, but he's gone for more big units of like hordes, like 40 zombies, 30 skeletons here. And I think we were talking last show that we think this sort of list is kind of the natural answer to all these high output other meta lists like Stormcast and Seraphon. Do we reckon that Jonathan here is going to have a good? Is he going to be the things that you put into those lists in this team tournament?
I don't really know. I think probably Soul Blights among the other sort of like hoardy durable armies that you probably just put forward early in the matchup process, and you can kind of play every matchup okay. So
yeah,
they don't have. I don't think they have particularly like amazing matchups in the way that some other armies have, where you're going to win 100% of the time. But
they can win most.
Yeah,
games,
they have a lot of like grindy matchups that you can win with good players. So that's why there's a lot of them in this tournament, and yeah, I think that's the role for them really. Okay.
You were telling me earlier you don't like Belladama.
No. It seems like a lot of points for me. Yeah, it seems. I mean, it's basically you're gonna get +1 to cast and rerolls to cast, and on a 2-cast wizard, and like exploding 6s if you get the spell off. But that's it. And that just doesn't seem worth to me for 200 points. But I could be wrong. Yeah, it just seems a bit expensive to me, basically.
Oh, what else have we got with these guys?
Okay, Maxine Terekhov is running a very masculine Stormcast list, I would say.
Very masculine. This is a manly list.
This is what they wanted you to bring, actually, when they wrote the battle tome and did the Dominion stuff. They didn't want you to bring the Draco Guard. I think that was an editing mistake. They wanted you to bring the Annihilators with the Meteoric Grandhammers, which are, I mean, they're 9 wounds on a 3-up save for 240 points. So, the wound ratio. Yeah, they're not the most durable thing in the world, but they slap. I think they're 3 attacks, 3s, -2, 3 damage. But in Knight Excelsior, you can give them the +1 to hit and wound in the combat phase. So, very strong. And he's obviously got the Imperator here.
Who's as well in this, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And the Imperator's going to let them come down 7 inches away instead of 9 inches away. So, pretty likely on the charge.
They explode when they come down, don't they? They do mortal wounds.
Yes, they do. Yeah, within 10.
AoE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he's kind of got some crap here, and then he still wants to win some games, so he's put 6 Vanguard Raptors in there. So
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, but I think he can win some games with this list. I think the Annihilators do a similar sort of job to the Dragons and the Fulminators, probably less efficiently than those 2 War Scrolls, but they still do the same thing. And obviously, it's now becoming a sort of tried and tested, well-proven way to win games with the Stormcast is unit of 6 Raptors blasting stuff at the back and some punchy shit going forward. And he can do that, right? And he's got the Relic there with the rerollable prayer, and he's got the Imperator, like you said. Oh, and he's got the Knight Judicator as well with the Gryph-hounds and the unshootable Knight Judicator. Oh, that's gross. Just pounding out artillery shots from the back without being able to be targeted. It's still Stormcast. I think this can take some names for sure.
Yep, I think so. Okay, we got the first Khorne list of the tournament. There's quite a few Khorne lists.
Surprising amount.
I think we'll show the faction breakdown after we get through this team. But
yeah, definitely.
Basically, we've got
this is
3.
Mr. Khorne, isn't it?
Yeah,
calling himself Asura. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's been as committed to a faction as this guy. I don't think anyone has gone through the trial and tribulations of Khorne over the past few years as much as Asura has. But so he's got 3 Bloodthirsters, Scarbrand, Bloodsecrator, Slaughter Priest, some crap. That's basically what's going on here.
It's the first Khorne list in a while that I've seen that has the full 4 behemoths, and I'm kind of quite excited about that.
Yeah,
You lose quite a lot of crap by doing that, don't you? Quite a lot of crap is how Khorne tends to play with the multi-layer screens and trading pieces. But he's gone for 4 big ones, Stuart.
I mean, he's still got a lot of crap. But I think he's just assuming, if one of them gets shot off or something, at least he has the other one still around, because probably one of them will get shot off. So,
Well, if I was Azura, I would be begging my captain to please don't put me into shooting lists. Please, I'll take combat lists because corner shooting doesn't go well, right?
oh, you play this into like an ogres list, you're gonna have a great fun. It's gonna be great, but just Vanguard Raptors just won't be very fun. But that's okay. I mean, that's what
This
you
is
can
a
run
team
this sort of
tournament.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can run this sort of thing in a team tournament. It does kind of pressure your team to find you a good matchup, but that's yeah, that's fine as well. As long as they're down with it. But yeah, fun list. Very excited to see how Khorne goes. Okay, and
The muscle of the team, Stuart.
yeah, so he teased it in the general chat. Now I'll give him a
This is
free
Pask
pass
for
here.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Pask. Marty is Pask, for those of you that don't know, and everyone knows who Pask is. So, what's Pask doing?
Well, I'll give him a free pass here because, like, normally he runs ogres, but Pete's running
does.
ogres. So, there you go. So, logically, if he's not running ogres, then he has to run Seraphon, right? So,
He's forced. His hand was forced.
yeah. So, he's running Thunder Lizards with a Prime.
This is what we would call a net list, isn't it, Stuart?
Yeah, I
This is
personally don't like the Prime, but a lot of people run him.
Yeah,
I
and
think he's a bit
the
expensive.
Stegodon with the Chief is another sort of like nuanced pick. It's not quite the 6 Croxigals that we're experiencing in the meta at the moment. But
Jeez. Okay.
this is still the Thunder Lizard list, right? This is still Slam with the Basti and the Sallies, which hurts.
I think you're seeing the engine and the Skink Chief in every list now, pretty much. Yeah, the Skink Chief is amazing value. Personally, I prefer when the Slan is the general, and you give him the reroll unbinds. I just think that that Arcane Might thing is just so worth it. I mean, rerolling an unbind can change a game more than
Lists
plus 1
like
attack
MJ
does, I think.
Pegasus,
Yes.
any list that wants to do magic or something that relies on a key spell like a bridge going off or something, it's a Slam with that command trait is just utterly horrible.
But the reason he hasn't done it, and the reason that some other people don't do it is because he doesn't have the Saurus Guard in here, so you can't run the Slan as a general if you don't have Saurus Guard. It's just way too risky, so that's why I end up with this sort of composition. But yeah, basically, he's got the two big Stegs, an Aladdin Prime, some Skink Battle Iron, 2 Salamanders, and a Basti, so pretty standard. But yeah, just going for that Stegodon with Skink Chief as the general. Okay, I think we can just quickly get the faction breakdown up.
Got to talk about it at the start, but
Okay, so apologies for the difficult to read pie chart, but I've also got a bar chart just so it's a bit easier to read. Yeah, now I'm not sure what you're expecting, Luke, but I was actually a little bit surprised by how low Seraphon is. Now, I know it's still the highest one, but the fact that that's not 18 surprised me. I thought that would be 18 minus, like, the TO team because they're playing all Chaos. So I thought that was going to be 17, but it's actually 11. So there are 6 teams not running Seraphon, which is very nice. I'm very happy with that. And then another surprise, Luke, is we have Nurgle as the second most popular army. Which
me and you have been talking about Nurgle recently, haven't we? You've been playing it, and you're playing it at this event. I kind of think that book's really strong. Like in a slightly more nuanced way, I think it's a book that's got loads of tricks in it, and is kind of really fun to play with, but really not fun to play against. Like there's quite a lot of head banging MPE in the Nurgle book, and I think people are realizing that that's kind of strong. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think if you're an army below the sort of like A tier, I think they're quite frustrating to play against. And I've been playing them a lot casually locally, and yeah, people just feel like they can't get anything done. Like at the end of the game, they just killed nothing. That's unfortunately what happens a little bit with Nurgle. But against the other sort of top armies, I think they're more of a skill dependent sort of army. I still think the army is one war scroll copied and pasted like 50 times, but that's okay. That's not the first book where that's happened, but the fact that the whole army is basically slow with a 5-up ward means the diversity in terms of unit role is missing a little bit, but there's still lots of
fly dudes.
there's fly dudes who move 8, and then there are other dudes who move 4 with various profiles, and that's it. So you basically got 2 unit roles. But that's okay. That happens in some books. But yeah, people loving them. I love building lists. I'm running them, so I mean, obviously, I like them. But yeah, very popular. Good to see. Soulblight Gravelords are the next one with 9 people playing them.
I think they've always been relatively popular since the books came out. Because I think that's a really fun book. I think that's a good book. I think people are happy with the strength of it. It's performing well. It's winning lots of tournaments, but not in a douchey way, is it? It's kind of like in a fair enough. That's just kind of strong sort of way. It's not loads of because it plays the fundamentals of the game, doesn't it? It plays the basics. It plays screening and trading and deep striking. It doesn't do any mega bullshitty stuff, in my opinion, compared to something like the Stormcast with the teleporty shooting bollocks. But what do you think about Soulblight? Are they fun or are they just good?
I think it's one of the only armies in the game where if you're a Timmy, Johnny, or a Spike, that like you can actually just make a list in the army. Like you can go kind of the more Spike direction, which I think Nikita, is fair to say, probably went more down that direction, or somewhere between Spike and Johnny, where you just have like a bunch of stuff and one big dude. The Timmy stuff has gotten a bit worse since Nagash got worse, but you can still run, some big dragons and stuff. And then
Forge Dry, it pops up in this tournament, I think, Stuart.
Yeah,
in the old monster truck killer, yeah.
yeah. And then in terms of the Johnny end, I mean, there's plenty of combos here. You've got all those Graveguard synergies, so there's really something for everyone in this book, and obviously the models are great as well. So that's why it's so popular. And in the team event, as we were saying before, it's really flexible. You can pair it into a lot of stuff. You can bus it, has a good chance of winning still. So great army for teams, definitely.
And it has 9 players running Soulblight, and on the same level of representation, we've got Cities of Sigmar.
Well, cities of Stormcast, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Now, spoiler alert: most of the lists have like 1,000 points of Stormcast, so you can kind of roll this into the Stormcast category because if you're taking Fulminators in Cities of Sigmar, because of the pack, you can't take them in Stormcast, so you can kind of think of it as like 16 Stormcast players. Some of them playing Cities, some of them playing Stormcast. That's sort of what's going on here, really. I think there might be a couple teams that have both, where they've like kind of quarantined the units to either side, but
yeah, you have the Fulminators, I'll have the Dragons.
Yeah, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, but if you look at Stormcast on its own as a faction, it's 7 out of 18, less than half, which is very different to the singles tournament that we ran, which I think they had like 25% on their TOD or something like that. There was loads of them. 7 out of 18, just Stormcast. Do we think that's because a lot of the Stormcast players have moved over to the Cities of Sigmar? Do they think that's a better way to play it? Or do we think people are heeding our warning about being a douche and bringing dragons, Stuart? What do you think?
I think a lot of the Worlds teams probably want to try other stuff out, because we all know Stormcast is good. So, in terms of the practice end, there's not that much to be learned maybe from playing Stormcast. I also think a lot of the Stormcast lists that are being run aren't necessarily like the build. There's a couple of them in there, sure, but a lot of people running them because they like Stormcast. I mean, that's still a thing. Yeah,
Grand
yeah,
on the list, didn't we?
yeah.
The
For example, right? So
Annihilators, yeah.
yeah, I think
Um,
I
and
think very strong, but maybe people want to play some other stuff this tournament.
yeah, nestled in between cities and Stormcast in the representation is BOC, Beast of Chaos for those of
Yeah.
you that probably forgot about what that acronym means. This is a resurgence, isn't it, Stuart?
Well, so just for the people on YouTube, we are playing with the White Dwarf rules in this tournament. There's been a lot of tournaments that aren't playing with the rules for some reason, but yeah, White Dwarf supplements don't usually get a FAQ, so even though there's no FAQ, we are playing with it in this tournament. So what that means, the updates really were you don't have to be in range of the Herdstone anymore to get like the -1 Ren. It's just board wide. That turns into -2 Ren from round 3 onwards. And then they have like some Battle Shock stuff and a 4-up rally available to them as well. So big buffs in the
Gave the whole army Ren, didn't
yes, big buffs. So if your army's terrible, just add like Ren 2 on to everything and it's good. So people running them, partly experimentation. I still think the army has a huge fan base, even though all their models
they?
are
Oh,
old. So
definitely.
yeah, so it's not one of those armies that's like really ever gone away, even though it's been mega weak. Whereas some other armies have, like Bone Splitters. So yeah, people excited to bring them. I'm excited to see them played. It's gonna be fun.
So I think BOC there rounding out the most popular factions. And then after them and Stormcast, we've got what we got. We've got Doc, Ironjaws, Lumineth, Zinch, Nighthaunt, and First Prince all on the sort of 4-5
Yeah.
players each. Any surprises amongst those group, or for me
Uh,
these are lists that we would expect on a team's tournament, really.
Again, I think you can
Maybe
roll
Zinch
Zinch.
being a
I think you can
yeah.
roll Zinch and Legion of the First Prince sort of again into one faction because you're really talking about Pink Horror as the faction. That's really what's going on there. There are a couple of Zinch lists that I think maybe one that doesn't have pinks, but
Exciting ones, aren't there? Yeah.
there's some very interesting lists in there. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised we didn't see more Legion of the First Prince, but I mean, it's not the most interesting army
That
to
way
play
though.
with. So
Even in the last tournament we ran, we had over 100 players, and there was still the 4 Legion of the First Prince players. I think they're the because me and you both think that they are one of the, if not the strongest sub factions in the game when played right, with the right sort of list. But they've always had a low representation. They're kind of an obscure army that doesn't even have their own full battle term. They're in like of sub, what they called? Was it Wrath of the Other Chosen?
yeah,
The extra little bit,
it is a little
the
bit
extra little
weird that
book.
like one of the strongest armies in the game is just like a page of rules. It's quite interesting.
Exactly. But it's a soup list, isn't it? It's all the demons from a collective of battle tomes, with pretty broken allegiance abilities, and obviously it's the king of the control lists, isn't it? The Legion, and I think in the team setting, being able just to have a choice of the opponents put forward two of their big bads, and then you've got I know how to control that. I can Bellacore those long strikes, and the Fulminators can try and punch through 40 pinks all they want. That's a good arsenal, a good weapon to have in the arsenal of a team, isn't it? That Legion, the First Prince, just to put a spanner in the opponent's team's works. Do you think?
I think maybe people feel like there's too many cooks in the kitchen if you run like Legion of the First Prince, Nurgle, Soulblight, Gravelords, and Beasts of Chaos in the same team because it's all kind of the
Yeah.
same list, really. I mean, Beasts of Chaos deal a bit more damage than the other ones. Same with Soulbright Gravelords, but at the end of the day, a lot of them are kind of durable, slow armies for the most part. So people might want to run
Well,
some other stuff in there.
when we're talking about the top sort of list that are doing really well, we've kind of got two halves of the coin, right, Stuart? You got those punchy lists, and then the sort of tanky hoardy lists. The Legion, the First Prince, and Soulblight being the tanky ones, the Stormcast and the Seraphon being the punchy ones. We need to give them a name. We need to come up with some names for these two lists, because a lot of the armies fall under those umbrellas of those sort of play styles. Can you think of any funky names for those two sort of play styles of lists that we're seeing?
Uh
No.
You put me on the spot, but I don't know. You got your grinders and you got your pounders, I guess. Maybe that's
Fucking hell, grinders and pounders. All right. Okay.
maybe that's what we can call them. All right, but just quickly down the bottom, we've got yeah, some
Everyone
acquired
else.
taste factions, I would say. Um,
Yeah.
you
Always
know,
a big shout out for those who have just one representation, right?
I think OBR could have some more players. I think they're good in teams. But some of the other ones here are very much like if you have a player who really likes them, then run them. But otherwise, maybe not. Yeah, that's the vibe. Okay, I think we should.
There we go. Yeah, back to the task at
Okay.
hand, Stuart, because we've got quite a few of these lists. We'll start talking about one of my favourite team names, Accessible Motorhomes.
Oh, this is a
I don't know
great
what it
team.
means.
This is a great
This is
team.
a great team. This is some TTS heroes that have banded together through the powers of the internet. A lot of them in different places of the world.
Yeah, I just want to
We've
show
got them in. Yeah,
their
yeah.
promo photo. So, uh, this is what's going on. But they submitted this when they did the team sign up.
It's
But
just great.
yeah, but that's
So we've got
basically
some big names,
vibe.
haven't we? We've got some big names in this team, and I'm really excited to see how they go. What are they bringing, Stuart?
Okay, so
Starting off with Den and his Seraphon.
yeah, we got another Seraphon Thunder Lizards list. He doesn't have the Skink Chief. And
Pasties.
he's got 2 Basties and 4 Salamanders. So I mean, he's bringing the damage. He's put the
I would like to
Bastiladons in
see.
Alpha Beast Pack, which I think is hilarious.
Oh, that is
Um,
funny. I didn't notice that. That is funny.
yeah,
It just means that when you say what's the turn run threat range of your Bastillodons, you just kind of laugh and you don't really.
I think it's more for mind games than anything else. I don't
Yeah.
actually think it does much, but it's more like, oh, well, but there's an extra D6, or you know.
No, but 2 units of 2 salamanders is a lot of punch to be. Oh, you just get so much in a Seraphon list, don't you? You just get so much. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is going to do well. This is one of the lists that we're going to see sort of takes on all comers sort of list, isn't it? It's going to be one of these lists that you can see being put down first, like a come at me bro with its arms open sort of list, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's gonna do quite well into Legion of the First Prince with the double Basti.
Extra damage and the
Yeah,
demons, yeah.
because you can't just Bellicle one of them. So I really
Yeah.
like the double Basti in the team format for that matchup. But there are only 4 of them. I'm interested to know how this would go versus Soulblight. We'd have to see how that plays. Don't know if that's a good
As well.
matchup. But yeah, I mean it's
I
a
think
strong
this
list of Seraphon,
handles,
so
yeah. I think this handles the Stormcast relatively well with the being it Thunder Lizards and -1 damage and all that. I would. This is a good list. What else are the Automobile Boys bringing? Everyone's favourite.
yay, foxes. No, fair enough. This is a great teams list. Absolutely. Like if your opponent stuffs up the matchups, this is the big punish.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a list that can pull the trousers down of a list that doesn't have the tools to deal with it. This is Drakon and his foxes. It's in Helon. It's got Severith, and then 2 other foxes of the unnamed ones, and it's got the buff heroes, and then the 30 sentinels. So it's relatively simple in the way that it works, but it works by making you not work, right? It turns off your combat capabilities, doesn't it, Stuart?
Yeah. Now he doesn't have the Law Seeker in there for like the turn 1 Lambent Light. So what he's decided to do is put the Wind Mage in there for what I believe is, I think that's the add 6-inch to your range or +1 to hit spell. I think that's what that is. So getting some more range with the Sentinels. Probably he's thinking of that in the
It's the extra
Stormcast
range,
matchup.
yeah.
I think is probably
Yeah,
what he's thinking of. So they don't just stick
trying
them
out
in the
range.
corner.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what he's thinking of there. So that if he wins the roll off, then he can shoot off the
Range.
Vanguard Raptors. Yeah.
Sentinels, because has he got speed to hiss? Yeah, he speed to hiss the Sentinels, moves them 10, shoots them 36, I think.
Yeah. So that should
yeah,
hit most of it.
not-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Strong list, and I think this is going to be a list that administers some of the biggest spankings of the whole tournament. I reckon this is going to be some of the biggest, the most non-causer of some of the non-games that we've got. But this is, gloves are off here. This is a team tournament, so I reckon he's gonna, if the matchups go well, this is going to be a force to be reckoned with, don't you think?
Yep. Just don't pair it into KO. Okay.
Speaking of a force to be reckoned with, Stuart.
The first of the Gits lists.
Yes. Old Mate Cobb.
Now, this one is particularly heroic. So he's got the Mangler Squigs with Fight Another Day, which is, I mean, that's like really old school. But basically, after he fights, he can move. It's actually really good.
Right.
Like in a combat meta, it's actually really good. But in a shooting meta, if you get shot off before that happens, obviously not great. But in a combat matchup, it's great.
It's the same as the Seek New Fruit command ability from Harvest Moon and Sylvaneth. It's the Durthu strikes and then runs away type thing. Except this is a Loon Boss. Who do you prefer, Stuart? A Loon Boss or a Durthu when it comes to
Loon
damage?
Boss. Loon Boss does way
Every
more
day of the
damage.
week?
Loon Boss actually slaps, like actually does significant damage. It's just he's so squishy, and he goes to bottom bracket halfway through his wounds, which is a symptom of destruction. Like, I know that's funny, but it's not good. That's basically it's basically the
interesting
thing,
and not a lot else. But joining the Loon Boss, Stuart, is the Hag, the old saggy tit woman.
Yep.
A fungoid, some shooters, some stabbers, 12 squig herd. I like that. I don't know why, but I really like 12 squig herd. That just sounds funny. And then 12 trogs and the old Dobby, all neatly piled into 2 battle regiments.
I like that the Mask Crawler Slogoth is not marked as an ally, and I saw this in list submission, but I didn't correct it because it's not, because it's a Gits unit, because it's the only armor that anyone runs it in. So that's where he is. Yeah. And he benefits from the Troggoth allegiance abilities in Gits, with the regen.
He's not gone Mega Mob, is he? Because he would be...
No,
he hasn't. No, because he wants the good...
So the thing is with Gits is all of the sub-factions are worse than not running one. So that's the
So
situation.
Old Mate Cobb obviously knows what he's doing. This sounds like this.
Yeah.
This looks like a Gits player that knows his shit, right? I reckon this... And we've said it before, Stuart. Trogs can slap. Can. Not will, but can slap.
Yeah, now, they're not coming back in this list. That's the only thing that's not amazing. But...
So he might not have the longevity.
In order to make them come back, you have to spend 250 points on Dankhold Trog Boss, which is like one of the worst heroes in the whole game. So, there's always that toss-up of like, well, I could just take 6 more Trogs. And it's like 40 points more than the Trog Boss. And that's what you're getting back anyway. So I think that's probably the decision he's made here. And he's got more of a mixed list anyway, so he's not going full Trogs.
What's the Hag trying to do here? I've not seen her in a while.
Well, the Hag is very expensive, but she does have... Yeah, she's very expensive. And she's good, but she's not quite worth that point price, especially after the Amulet of Destiny nerf. But it's got a good spell. I think it's like -1 save, hit, wound, and all the above, something like that. And she actually has good shooting with her vomit. It's actually really good, but she's quite slow. Yeah. And a 1 caster, if I recall.
Shooting attacks always do. Yeah, she's a 1 cast. And if she doesn't want to do her spell, she can always make something fly, Stuart, with that levitate. I'd like to see some flying trogs. I really do. So, Geordie R is next, and he's taken a break from his KO, Stuart. He thought all this shooting is basically cheating, so he's bought Corn.
Yeah, so he compared to a serious list, he has 1 less Bloodthirster.
And a bit more crap, which is exactly what I was saying. Right?
But he's also taken the Slaves to Darkness Demon Prince in here.
The No Fun Prince. Yeah.
Yeah, which we all know is amazing.
Very strong. And I think the reason why it's here is because this team haven't gone Legion the first Prince. So like, oh, fine.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I can have it. Yeah, I can have the Prince. Thank you. Even though it's in my own battle tome, I'll take it this time.
Yeah, I mean, someone's running this. Like, if there's no Legion of the First
Yeah.
Prince player, Nurgle's running this. Like, someone's running this thing. So,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of who. Yeah.
Now, again, into a matchup that doesn't just shoot everything off. You've got some screens to make sure that you get the good trades, and some of the punch here is like Scarbrand. People always, I think, give Scarbrand a bad rep. He's one of the, if not the most powerful combat monsters in the game. Like he can just do ridiculous amount of damage with Reapers of Vengeance, 6-inch piling. He's got all the tricks, and it's just like 36 mortal wounds. Take that.
I think,
I like that.
Luke Morn was telling me he watched Geordie play the other day versus Kragnos, and I believe the story went that Scarbrand went into Kragnos and rolled 2 6s, and that was the end of Kragnos.
Yeah.
Believe that's what happened. So, he's got the capacity for +2 attacks on the on Scarbrand here with the Bloodsecrator and the Wrathmongers. So double pile in 3 attacks with the mortal wound weapon. It can do some serious damage for sure. Yep.
I think I prefer this level of Bloodthirster to crap ratio than maybe Azura's, but it's Khorne. We like it. They're all kind of similar, aren't they? The Khorne list, but that's okay because it's Khorne, and we still like what you're trying to do. It's still fun.
Yep.
And then the most fun of them all. This is this is Nikita, who obviously, for those of you that don't know, he won the tournament that we just did, which was Release the Beast 2, 104 players, and Nikita was the only player to go 6-0 against some really big lists and some big opponents. So he's proven that this list works, although he's tweaked it slightly, hasn't he, Stuart?
Yeah, he's got more Graveguard and he's taken the skeletons out, which fair enough. I think he likes the zombies more anyway. Yeah, I think
Cool,
he's kind of trimmed the fat a little bit here. Yeah, now he's basically just running Manfred, Necromancer, the 220 Graveguard, and then just a load of crap. That's basically the idea now.
He's trimmed the fat, but he's still got bats, Stuart. 3 fell bats. This is one of my
because they fit
units of the tournament. Yeah, I want to see what these three fell bats get up to. I want to follow these guys.
They're quite good for getting your Savage Spearhead, actually. That's kind of what they're for.
They're like 3 wounds each as well, like 3 or 4 wounds each.
Take an Unleash Hell and die, That's...
Yeah, I mean, important stuff. Although he doesn't really care about Unleash Hell too much in this list, does he?
No, and after the nerf, I mean, it's kind of whatever anyway. But yeah,
but I think the one thing, this is a Soulblight list that the people have seen. The one thing I want to bring people's attention to when it comes to Nikita running Soulblight is Manfred. I think this guy and Manfred. I think Nikita is Manfred at this point. I think he probably owns one of those weird demonic horse things in his garage. That's what I think Nikita has.
Okay.
He uses this guy really well, doesn't he? He uses him. I think you said instigates all the fights on the board. He instigates all the damage that is brought about, and he's a pain in the ass the way that, that Nikita pops this guy in and out of the right sort of combats. And I think he can run rings around certain lists. So
he's basically, it's like he's playing chess, right? And he's got like 2 castles, with the Graveguard, and then he's got a queen, and then he's got like 400 pawns. That's basically what he's playing with this list. It's just like you got like 3 damage pieces, one of which is more mobile, and then you've got just crap. Yep. And I guess the Fellbats in this analogy would be the knight, just running around. I don't know. But, yeah. Okay. All right, and we got Little Tank again, like Azura, very loyal to his faction here, which is Flesh Eater Courts. There's not too much to say about this list, other than he's gone for Neferata this time. I suspect he wants Manfred, but Nikita's running it. Yeah. So Neffy's still good, because it gives you something else.
Making Feck ethereal isn't as good as making.
Well, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Oh, you can't even do it.
It's keyword locked. So everything.
So what
well, you can give her. You can give her like 2-up save ethereal. So.
What does she do here, though?
Well, she's just like another, like a lone wolf unit. in the
Mm,
same way that Manfred is. You know, kill some crap,
mm,
more durable than the Terrorgeist. Look, you just got to think about it, Luke. Like, what else is he going to run? That's the thing.
some
Like,
players.
no, it's better than 6 players. Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Oh, God damn it.
But yeah, one thing to note with Little Tank is he always runs Crusading Army now, which I believe is +1 to run in charge. He doesn't run Feast Day or anything like that, you know, because you can only use,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, you can only use it once anyway. So
Feast Day definitely dropped off with their S3, didn't it? Crusading Army. I never noticed that. That's cool.
yeah, and he's taking the extra mount trait here, so the Razor Claw, so the mount gets +1 rend, which is okay, but obviously the gruesome bite is really what you want here. Yeah.
Those bites. Yeah. This you know, this is 2 dragons, and how much damage it can do with some screens and some buffs. It's a very stripped down. It's like one of those banger cars, Stuart. They're completely stripped down. All the doors have been taken off. All of the just the lovely seats. All of the radio has been pulled out, and it's just little tank in a seat with a big fucking V8 engine in the front. And I'm a big fan of that.
He does get 2 units of 3 knights,
Flayers,
you know,
yeah.
flayers
Yeah.
or ghouls, and then also not ghouls, horrors, and then he also does get
So
30
flayers.
ghouls with the other 2 heroes. So I mean, there's more here than is on the list, but
Yeah, definitely.
if you go first and shoot the Terrorgeist off, then he doesn't get
You
them.
win.
So
But Little Tank has the opportunity here to not play against shooting lists, right? And
yes.
he does well into the combat list. Like he still does a lot of damage if he rolls well.
I think he's gonna do fine. I think this is a perfectly fine teams list. Yep.
I agree.
Okay.
And that rounds out a perfectly fine team. I think these guys. You know, there's some strong lists in there, Stuart.
Oh,
There's
the
some
first
strong
2 are
lists.
spanky lists, and then they've got,
Yeah.
and the Nikita's list is a spanky list, and then
Yeah.
the other ones I guess are a little bit more fun oriented, but you know they can do fine in the right matchup. I mean, the Gits can do fine in the right matchup. This is actually a fine list. It's just you know,
Gits as
it's
opposed
just
to
Gits.
Stormcast. Yeah.
You look at it on
Yeah.
paper, it's like, what does this do? Don't know, but it is actually better than it looks. Trust me. Okay.
I like that one. I like that was a good little team. Big fan.
So next we've got Age of Baguette, which I believe is a French team, and we've got our first Nagash. So most of the Nagashes in this tournament,
This is a small little list.
yes, most of the Nagashes are a Nighthaunt, and this is one of them. And he has Spirit Torment with the D3 models come back command trait and the +3 move.
Buff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then he's got Nagash, 5 X-Rays, 20 Grimghast, 9 Spirit Hosts, and the Chainghast in the Battle Regiment in Emerald Host. So he can pick a hero to be -1 save for the whole game. Yeah. That's pretty much what's going on.
This is a team thing. What's he trying to go into with his Nagash, or what's he trying to avoid?
Oh, he's great into Seraphon. There's no question about that. He's really good into Seraphon. Especially if they don't run too many Salamanders, which they probably won't now. So he's quite good in that matchup.
You should say that.
Sorry?
Why is he good into Seraphon?
Well, most of it's Ren 1. So these sorts of like big heroes that can save stack well, like if he gets Mystic Shield off and then has all out defense, he's at +2. So Ren 1 is going to be a 2-up save. So these sorts of heroes like Nagash and Kragnos, you know, they're not necessarily a weak spot for the Seraphon. Like, it's still a playable matchup, but it's weaker compared to other matchups that you play because you fundamentally can't deal with Nagash. So your path to victory if you're a Seraphon player here, first of all, kill the Spirit Torment. Second of all, you got to kill the rest of what's going on here. But he's tried to construct the list so that, like, the 9 Spirit Hosts are quite hard to challenge. Even for something like Seraphon, so he's hoping to keep them there. Now Nagash can bring back 2 of those a turn, and then you obviously can get D3 back with the Spirit Torment with this command trait if he survives, and then also in the Battle Shock phase you can get another 2 back with the Spirit Torment. So there's a lot of healing here for those Spirit Hosts. and they're an anvil that really needs to stay alive. But yeah, I mean, it's not a lot on the table, and Nagash has still got to get a lot done, and he's quite slow in Nighthaunt. So,
Does
yeah,
he benefit from the +3 move from the pendant?
no.
He doesn't. No, not the right keyword.
So he moves 9, and there's no way to buff that, and there's no teleports or anything. So what that means, realistically speaking, is if you're playing a really bad matchup where you need to backboard him, you can't, because then he's not doing anything. So, yeah. You want to dodge all the bad shooting matchups where he gets shot off turn 1. But in this format, we showed the format at the start of the show, you should be able to get a good matchup for him. So I think he's a good teams event list because, the matchups that he is really good in, he will, slap. So, the damage on this guy with the Scythe spell that gives him, I think it's reroll hits and wounds on a weapon is, insane. So he's very good, definitely.
When you get that 10 up charge, eh?
He can't do that, but
He can't? Oh,
no,
that's bullshit.
no, he doesn't. He doesn't have the 6-up ward either. So he's squishy, man, but he does get damage done. Okay, next we've got. I do find it funny that the first Tzeentch list we're talking about is from the French team. It's funny. It's definitely what you'd expect, but. We've got the.
This is kind of old school. This is reminding me of AOS 2 vibes.
Now, it's my understanding that people still run this a lot in France. And Tzeentch has always been a really popular army there. And basically, it's 6 wizards.
Panel conflagration and 6 wizards. What, 20 pinks? And some chaff to fill out the thing. So, what are the heroes that he's bringing, and what combos is he trying to achieve?
Well, he's got Blue Scries for reroll to cast on anyone. He's given the Fate Master Arcane Tome to be a wizard. But that gives him the reroll hits on the pink horrors. So, and they get some branding Eternal Conflagration. So they actually put out a decent amount of damage. And obviously he can summon some more in. The Changeling is quite an annoying little unit that sits near you and halves your move and stuff. He's quite annoying. And he's quite cheap. He's not as cheap as he used to be. I think it was 120 points when he came out or something. And then the Changecaster obviously is the Ultra Casino. If you roll well, he can, do 3 spells in a turn or something. I also love this, by the way. Have you noticed this, Luke? Yeah. I had to double check this, but yeah. Now it's cheaper in Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper in Slaves of Darkness.
So he's allied in the Slaves of Darkness one.
Totally legal.
GW proving that their rules work perfectly.
Yep. It's better than when you used to be able to coalition Zangors into Slanesh and stuff like that. It was just a nightmare. We'd have Zangors with Slanesh and Tzeentch Mark. Anyway, yep. That's this list. It's very hard to play. It's very finicky. I know Trogdor, one of the TOs, played something similar to this a lot. And the reason you don't see a lot of other teams running it is because it takes up the pink slots. So you can't take Legion the First Prince if you take this list.
It's got Arcane Tome and a Spell Portal. It takes up a lot of contentious things, doesn't
Yes, it does. But I'm assuming he's probably a player who's played it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
He's got them all under his thumb. He's shown the boys where their place is. He says, "This is my shit. I'm taking it." All right, and obviously these guys know better than to mess with him. I picture him as some huge bloke covered in tattoos now, running Tzeentch. I'm really looking forward to
the pink split. Yeah.
The pink split.
I don't know why. I don't know why they give you a choice. Because why would you ever go the other one? But yeah, we know what you mean. If anyone's forgotten to put that on your list, we know what you mean. All right. I'm not gonna tell you that your pinks are gonna be like the blowy up ones where you do a mortal wound on a 4-up or whatever when they die. Okay.
Now, Blow Up is a name I do recognise.
Yes.
But he's not running Trogs.
No, he's running. He's running Nurgle, and here he's got Guo, Be'lakor. They got access to Be'lakor because they don't have Legion the First Prince, so you can kind of see the knock-on effects from going Tzeentch instead of Legion the First Prince. You can put him in Nurgle, and then he's got 10 Plague Bearers.
How does he work with the Nurgle stuff?
I don't know. I haven't tested it out personally, but I think it's probably quite good. I mean, he's always good. There's not a lot to say, but basically, being able to stop a threat for a turn. I think moving more than doing anything is the most important thing with Nurgle, because if you can stop like a mega mobile unit getting on an objective before you do, and you can kind of dictate the game that way, especially without bridge, that's really strong. Yeah.
Some tanky stuff in here, isn't he? With the 20 plague bearers, and how many Nurgle? Three Nurgle beasts and plague drones. Stuart, you're a big fan of plague drones.
Love me some plague drones. They're great. They're one of the only like units in the book that actually has decent shooting. So they get a number of attacks equal to the models in the target unit, up to 7. So most of the time it's just 21 attacks, 3s and 3s, no and 1 damage. But obviously that procs disease. So they're quite good for like if there's 2 units you want to kill, you chuck the shooting into one, get 7 disease points, and then do the other one, and then charge the other one, and then give them 7 disease points. They're quite good at spreading disease. And they're quicker and they fly, so they're quite little handy units. And he's got the 3 Nurglings in there as well for getting extra summoning points. He can get Sloppity turn 1 with this list, which is very strong, obviously.
Point of what we're seeing in the Nurgle list, isn't it? Is you're summoning in your heroes to do the buffs, and you're summoning them every turn that you're in combat, and you're putting them in the right place. So he's trying to summon his Sloppity to try and buff the plague bearers or stop the units piling into them, isn't he?
But it's a very MSU list. I haven't seen anyone run Nurgle like this, so I'm interested to see how it goes.
Actually, the control here is actually quite terrifying with Be'lakor and Sloppity no piling and the no piling wheel stuff. Quite a lot of potential for some good old control MPE, which I'm sure people can't wait to discover. Right, what else are the French bringing, Stu?
I got Soulbright Gravelords list here. This guy's got 2 units of 3 Vargas, which I've never seen anyone run, so I don't know how they go. I remember when they came out, I thought they were good, but I don't know.
Load of zombies. Absolute load of zombies.
But yeah, he's got Gorslav, so he can bring back the zombies when he wants. And then he's got the Vampire Lord for the +1 attack, Necromancer for double pile in, Manfred for +1 attack. I mean, the +1 to hit and wound doesn't really do anything here. Then he's got 140 zombies, and then some larger bats and some smaller bats. And yeah, now the important thing, which I think in a list we didn't see earlier, he's got these 3 units in hunters, the zombies. That's really important so that the Vampire Lord can still put the +1 attack on them, even when they're roared. It's really, really important. So it does make you kind of high drop. But yeah, 60 zombies, right? Here you can get... What are the max buffs you can get? You get double pile in and +2 attacks. Okay, so I mean, if you kind of get a bit lucky with Manfred, yeah. So yeah, so you're probably gonna get like first pile in. You probably get
zombie, yeah.
You probably get 20 in, and then the second
you get 30 in.
Depends whether okay, 30, and then maybe the second time you get 40 or something. So maybe let's call it 70 guys. Basically, 3 attacks each, 210 attacks. 1/6 of that does mortals, so it's like 32 mortals or something. Is that right?
Is most of a threat, if not all of a threat.
Sounds 35 really mortals, yeah.
Yeah. When you think zombies doing 35 mortal wounds, but they can if you buff them. It's kind of a question of, is the effort that I have to go through to make them punchy worth it? But then he's always got the backup of playing to not kill something, hasn't he? And just play the tanky, tricky, hold the objective sort of list. So
yeah, it's not like a DPS army. Yeah, the trap might be to think that it is, but it's more of just like a Horde army that has the potential to do damage if everything lines up. But it's mega obvious, you know, like you put the Necromancer buff on the big unit and you go like, ooh, scary zombies. That's basically how it works. Like everyone knows what's going on. There's no like secret, you know, there's the go button with the Necromancer, and that's the unit that does damage now, because it literally doubles your damage output. So it is quite obvious. So it ends up being more of a grindy, not necessarily control, but stand in the middle of the board and fight your opponents to the list. So this list you really want to play on the battle plans with 3 objectives. That's where it's like really good, where you can just chuck everything in the middle, and then kind of play to give the turn 3 away, burn one of them, and then you should be able to win the game on points. That's what this sort of list really excels at, I think. Yeah.
Binder of a list, isn't it?
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Some Beasts of Chaos.
didn't think we'd get one so early. Here we go.
Who Shaggoth, Stuart? A Great Bray Shaman. The Corn Demon Prince, because we didn't have him earlier, did we? Was he
No.
Nurgle?
No, because we had Be'lakor, right? And then in the Zinch, in the Zinch we had Kairos. It's like everyone's gone back home,
Yeah.
This is where this. I mean, it slaves the Darkest Demon Prince. This guy was propping up Beasts of Chaos for a very long time. So he's back now, and he's running the Dark Walkers. So spamming the Dragon Ogres is the name of the game.
How many has he got? Is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you scrolled up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 units of 3 and a unit of 6.
Yeah,
Good
so
amount.
33. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 Shaggies.
So we were seeing this even before the White Dwarf, right? Where you're just spamming very wounds efficient unit in the Dragon Ogres, because they're 5 wounds each and there's 3 of them. It's 15 wounds for 125 points. That can ambush in turn 1 relatively fast, decent number of attacks, and now they do damage, Joe, because they've got Rend. So, what does this want to go into?
Well, first of all, anything that's higher drop than it, so I believe it's 2 drop. Yeah, because he's 2 battle regiments. If you could, anyone you can like lock in, is quite good.
Take turn 1 and then pin them in.
Yeah, I think they're quite good into Soul Black Gravelords. I think that's quite a good matchup for them because you can kind of get through all the crap, and you can also kind of lock them in well if they're higher drop than you are, which a lot of them are. So I think that's quite good. But I think they can just play a lot of matchups decently. There's a lot of flexibility in deployment. They've got a lot of durability. I think the key part is you probably don't want to play them into something that's lower drop than you can like dominate the board space. So maybe if Nikita's playing this guy and he wins the roll off and he can kind of get up the board, you might struggle a little bit to keep up on points. Because the Dragon Ogres are 2 models each, but like they take up a lot of space, so you can't get that many on the objective, because they're on giant bases. Really, like it can't be exaggerated enough how big their bases are. So they take up a lot of space, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. But if your opponent's already on the objective with like 20 dudes, it's really hard to get with the Dragon Ogres, I've found at least. So that is the kind of weakness, but the strength is they can lock you in really well.
A 1-drop Slanesh list, Stuart, would be able to push them out of the sides, wouldn't it?
I don't think KO is particularly great against this. I think you're going to struggle to get through it. It's still 4-up save. That's the thing. Like, there's so many wounds. I think it's probably like 200, is it? It's not listed there, but it should be something like 200. I mean, just the Dragon Ogres are like, what, 165, yeah. 165 wounds. So plus the heroes, it's almost 200. All in a 4-up save, so a very durable army for sure. And it's hard to get through, even if the battle shock sometimes can be a bit punishing, but less so with the Hearthstone now. Yeah.
And what you don't want to match up into is dragons that hero phase move forward and smash your Hearthstone turn 1.
Well, generally you can protect it though. Yeah, it's quite easy to protect with the big bases.
It is. It's a really good. I mean, it's their entire army now, that Hearthstone. So, yeah, it's a very important piece.
It is.
Interesting to see how the bot goes. I think this is their first real test, isn't it? The new bot. It's almost like they've had a new book, isn't it?
Well, they kind of have. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, and rounding out the Frenchmen and their attempt to conquer the TTS world is what you'd expect. This is well, not quite. It's normally dragons instead of the raptors, but it's cities of Sigmar with 1,000 points of Stormcast. Stuart, your favourite?
Yep. Uh,
Oh, and fucking Gotrek. Yeah.
yeah. Now, Gotrek is the only thing that's a little, I guess, peculiar here, but I like him in this list. I really like him in this list. Yeah, the other option here that people you would see people running is going to be the Phoenix.
Yeah, the Frost Phoenix, which is also just
The only
yeah.
issue I can see here with the list that he's got here is the like how you're going to get the Living Cities command ability off, because you don't have a hero that's super fast. Like, you still need a hero to get the command ability off. You can't just do it with the Fulminators on their own. So
Yeah,
that's
not
a
got
lot of the
a
reason
good
why people run the Phoenix. So you can get in there super fast and help the Fulminators move if you want to start them off the board.
I
Yeah.
guess he has to put one of the general or Deloria into. No, Deloria, can Deloria do it? She can.
Yeah, she can do it.
One of those
Yeah.
into the trees or whatever with the Fulminators, so when they pop out. But yeah, I agree with you. I think, yeah, I'd rather that Gotrek be a Phoenix, definitely, if we're talking
So
competitive.
probably what he's going to do is send Duralia and the Fulminators off the board and bring them on together. That's probably how he's gonna do it. I'm not sure I agree with the Vanguard Raptors. I yeah, I think that could be something else. I think they're without the double shoot. I think they're probably a little bit expensive.
I think this is the first time I've seen the Raptors outside of the Stormcast book with the double shoot and the Relictor. I think they're one of the, if not the only, Stormcast unit that firmly belongs in the Stormcast lists. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can make them work in the cities. But the Fulminators definitely work in cities, so he shouldn't struggle too much.
Yep. Okay. So we're 3 teams in. So
Fucking hell. Alright.
yeah, there's a lot of players. Okay, next we got Armed and Fabulous.
Great name.
Yeah. Now, I didn't fix all of the app outputs. So if you see this, I mean, I don't know how GW gets away with this, but this is not one Pascal Blight Lord. We all know what it means. This is 4 of them, so this means reinforced. Okay, so just there's going to be a few lists in here where you're going to see that, but the 1 times Plague Bearers means 1 reinforced, so it means 20 Plague Bearers.
Once.
Yep. Okay, but here he's got there's quite a few people running a similar list, but basically you've got the leader Pascal Blight Lord, 20 Plague Bearers, 10 Plague Bearers, and then 12 Pascal Blight Lords.
Subtraction, isn't it?
Yep.
The drowned men, so everything's getting. Is it 8-inch pre-game movement?
Yep, it is. Yeah.
All of the fly boys.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's got a lot of fly boys.
And the Plague Bearers are really there to just hold the objectives while the Fly Boys go around and do stuff. That's what they're for. Yeah.
Is a very simple. This is one of those V8 engine lists, Stuart. Very stripped back car list, isn't it? Just.
Yeah, I
Down
mean,
those
in
flies
teams,
and
it's the it's the way to do it. Like, this is probably not really an all comers list, but that's fine. In the team stuff, it's quite polarizing. But yeah, it's 1 drop pre-game move. On the right battle plan, you can get everything in there turn 1. So
alpha something off if you
yeah,
if you can.
and then not die. That's quite good.
And then, yeah, it's quite good. A lot of things will struggle to deal with that actually. The first of the Daughters of Cain.
Again with the app output, but basically it's what you see every time. But the only slight difference is he's got 2 units of 10 Bloodstalkers as the battle one, not 115. That's the slight difference here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's broken them up into 2 units of 10.
Yep.
God, imagine if Marathi was 600 each. That would be great. Get rid of that bitch. Right. So we know what this does. This is not changed a lot since AOS 2, really, has it? This list.
No, it's Marathi and the Bow Snakes. I think we can move on.
It's in Calabron. They're teleporting.
I don't even want to talk
And he's got
about.
those-
I think everyone has seen everyone talk about this list like 50 times. Yeah.
Yeah. It's shooting epitomized. It will shoot the important stuff off quite easily without putting its neck out or without risking or losing anything. So it just means you're starting the game with your hand behind your back. Really, you've lost your most important piece, and then you've got a guaranteed 3-turn unkillable monster in your grill, which always trades up. So
Yeah.
it's just two big trades that you've lost even before you've rolled a dice. It's really quite overwhelming to play against sometimes. So he's going to do well, isn't he? So this is one of the scary lists that these guys can bring out, especially if people make a mistake with who they put forward at the right time and stuff. This can just win a lot of games. Um, what else did this the armed and fabulous boys bring in, Stu?
We got some Seraphon. So Figures running Seraphon. Uh, I mean, it's it's a bit of a left field one in some respects.
Slightly more Stegodons than you'd normally see,
Yeah, so
but
he's got two
still
battle
got
line
the
Stegodons. Yeah,
still got what you'd expect, and obviously what you're expecting is that Star Master, 30 Skinks, and the Bastillodon, and the Priest, and the Engine.
he's
Yeah, the
got a
only
Knight
thing that's
Draconis
unusual
in
in
there,
the
a sneaky Knight Draconis.
does he?
Yeah,
Oh, he does. That's an interesting one.
which
Do you think the Draconis is better than the Prime?
is he better than the Prime? No, I don't think so.
He's
No,
not, is he? No.
he's
Does he have
definitely
the
not better
points
than
for the
two
Prime?
dragons.
No, he's not.
But probably there's dragons somewhere else without the Draconis, so that's why he's in here. I think that's the thought process. Yeah.
Mm. I mean, that could be 6 Croxagore.
He might be better than 6 Croxagore, I'm not gonna lie, but
he's a bit faster.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But he isn't 6 Croxagore. And those battle line Stegodons as well, always fun to see.
yep, definitely. Okay, another Beast of Chaos list. This guy is going a bit more Zangor heavy.
Each focused, yeah. 20 Zangors and 2 units of 3 enlightened. They're not even on discs, they're the foot ones.
No, the foot ones actually really slap for their points. Like they're definitely the most efficient in terms of damage for the points. They're just quite difficult to get in. Like they don't have run and charge like the other foot ones do. So they are a challenge in some respects, but yeah,
He's got most of the heroes that we're seeing in all these Beasts of Chaos lists. He's got the Shaggoth, he's got the Great Brave Shaman, he's got the Demon Prince, but he's got the Zangor Shaman in here as well. And is that what does the Zangor Shaman do again? Is that an extra move bonus for some of the
no,
the
he
Zangor?
gives
Is that
you
right?
he gives you +1 to hit on the spears on the enlightened, and he also gives you I think it's +1 to wound on the foot Zangors, and you can also like his spell adds some Zangors into the unit. It's kind of whatever, but that's another thing. He's not a bad hero. Like he can he's got the Gits thing where he can roll another cast once per game, and then you can re-roll either of the dice on that cast. So with Master of Magic, you kind of get like 2 re-rollable casts. So it's quite good. Yeah.
Bad. And then rounding out the beefy part of his list, he's got 2 units of 6 Bulgors.
I love the Bulgors. I don't like the pairs of axes at all. But
Oh no, he's not gone for the big ones.
I think you either go the big ones or the shields, because reroll ones to hit when you're hitting on 4s is just mathematically not very good. If you give him
Not, is
+1
it?
to hit all out attack, it's okay. But yeah, you're kind of relying on that. Yeah.
Where's the damage 3 though? Come on, man. Get those big axes in. And
Now I have to talk about
Mightiness for
this. I have to talk
Oh.
about Ravening Direflock, because this thing is like so unbelievably strong. I don't know why more people don't play with it.
Isn't it?
Basically,
It's a janky thing.
it is janky, but you can't use Rally or Inspiring Presence when you're within 12 of it, okay? And
Most things
so
are
it has
very-
quite short range, but it actually doesn't. So it like sets up, and then when you step on it at the end of the phase, you could move it anywhere on the board, which kind of just blows my mind that that's a thing. But it's basically infinite range Horrorghast.
How is Horrorghast more points than this? What the fuck?
It's bizarre. Well, and the negative is in your opponent's turn. If they step on it, then they get to move it anywhere. but it doesn't affect Beasts of Chaos units. So
You just put it in the corner.
you can just put it in the corner, but yeah, I mean, it's not going to be out of like dispel range. That's not going to happen on the board size. So
And then you summon in 10 Ungors to step on it again, and then it comes back to where you want it to be.
yeah, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So
Or you unbind it and recast it. Yeah, I like that.
it's a very strong spell.
How do we feel about the Beast of Chaos with the Zinch stuff with his angles in? What do you think 20's angles are gonna do?
I mean, they're really good with the rally. That's one thing to think about with them, the 4-up rally. So
Oh, definitely. It's a lot of wounds getting back, isn't it?
it is.
They're 2 wounds each. Are they 2 wounds each?
They are 2 wins each. Now, I'm not entirely sure why none of them have shields, because I believe the way the Beast of Chaos book is worded is if one of them has a shield, the whole unit gets a 6-up ward, and you never have to kill the shield guy. Which blows my mind, but that is how it's worded, I think.
A fucking big shield.
Yeah, it's a very big shield. So
Yeah.
maybe if you want to change that, you can get in touch with me. But yeah, and there's also, he hasn't written it, but there's obviously the mutants and that kind of thing in there. Sangors is just always like an absolute nightmare explaining like what weapon does what and who does what, because there's like so many different weapon options in the unit. And then you give the leader like the
units within the unit.
yeah,
There's mutants and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
So there's probably some formatting things in there that he's got in there that probably aren't coming off in the formatting. So we'll get those creases ironed out. But this is a cool list. Be interesting to see how it goes. Again, relatively untested, or at least in a long time. So be interesting to see how they get on. Alpha Priest pack.
I need to fix that because there's nothing
What?
that goes
Yeah.
in it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Wishful thinking there. I mean, it's a Beast of Chaos. He's thinking they're all beasts. They can all go in there. Right.
Okay.
Is this what we expect
Yeah.
it to
So
be?
as I was saying,
Yes,
this is why Forgive's running the Nitroconus and not the dragons, because we have the dragons in here. So we have we're Hammers of Sigmar with Bastion.
Yep.
We got the Relictor with the usual shindig, rerollable 2-up teleport, can't be shot. 3 units of Vindictors, and then 6 Vanguard Raptors and 4 Storm Drake. So pretty standard list, I think, at this point. It's
the cookie cutter one, isn't it? Although his flavour that it's Bastion inside Hammers instead of the what's his name, Gardas
instead of Gardas and like a battle mage or something. Yeah,
which is just better. But this guy's gone Bastion.
I do like Bastion. He's fun. I've just found personally that like
Gardas.
in my head I thought that 8 wounds with a 3-up save and a 4-up ward is tankier than it actually is. But I think with the heroic, whatever, the heal heroic ability not being able to be done in combat now, it makes these sorts of like, high wound value units a little bit weaker, and he has really no way to heal him aside from the relic to prayer. So, which you kind of don't want to use because you want to use the teleport. So
yeah,
it's a little bit difficult to heal him. He has gone for the Pillars of Belief grand strategy, by the way, which I think is hilarious, and I agree with him because that relic is not going to die.
Shot. Yeah, it can't be shot.
That's just
So
funny
how's
to
it
me
gonna
that you've
die?
got one priest and you're like,
It's not gonna die.
it's
Yeah.
not going to die. Yeah.
And if he's died, then he's definitely lost the game anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. There you go. Okay. We got some gits.
Cool.
And this
Some more trogs.
gentleman or lady is running the trogs in the sub faction. So he's the hero.
This list. 3. I've never seen 3 madcap.
Okay, we need
before.
this needs fixing. But
'Cause
I
that's
will,
not
I
what
will
you're
address
allowed to
that.
have.
You're not
Yeah.
allowed to do that. So just get in contact with me, but if you want to take that, you can't be Mega Mob. Yep.
Your
But we
choice
got
is between a good command trait or shit.
don't go Mega Mob.
Subfaction.
Take what you've got. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with the loadout. Don't go Mega Mob. It's awful. Okay. So Trug Boss, 3 Madcap Shamans. Now I love Madcap Shamans, but 3 is maybe a bit many. Maybe 2.
Yeah.
You got your allied Trog. I don't like that guy either, but he looks cool.
Is there no Dobby? There's no Dobby.
There's no Dobby. and he's got 3 units of 6
Why
trogs,
is there
and
no
then 2 units of
Dobby?
3 trogs.
I mean, he gets the most Trog award.
Look, he's got the most trogs, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think you want Dobby.
you want Dobby.
You want Dobby.
Oh
No, he's
no,
in there.
there
No,
he
he
is.
is in there. He is in there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, good. All right,
Oh,
crisis averted. All right, so with Dobby in there, I mean, this is a good list, right? It's a good
this
list.
thing hits very slow, but it hits hard.
I know some other Trog players prefer to go 9, like a unit of 9, and then have some like screens. Because with 9, 5 are going to come back for an Elune Shrine. And they're 2-inch reach, so you can usually get them all in. So, yeah. And the other thing is, usually one of the Madcaps is going to have the Moonface moment, so you can kind of get like -3 rend on the Trogs. That's the other thing. But I think he wants to be 2-drop, so that's why he hasn't gone that. So I understand that. There's an argument for that, definitely. Yep.
We always love Trogs. Trogs are one of those armies that are always just like, oh, that guy's a hero running Trogs. I think you automatically become a legend if you run Trogs, especially if you win a couple of games with them. So let's see how he gets on.
All
Is
right.
that the end of this team?
That's the end of this team.
Armed and fabulous. What do we think of that team overall, Stuart? How are they going to get on, do you reckon?
There's a couple list submission things that need to be fixed, but I think overall, there's some interesting lists in there. And there's some ones I quite like the Trogs in the teams. There's definitely got some play. I think they're missing like a couple of mega powerful armies that could be in there, but overall, I think it's a strong team. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have the chosen ones next. Now, what they are
This is your
chosen to do
team.
is
Your team,
something
isn't it,
else. But
Stuart?
yes, it's it's Luke Morton's team. So I'm not the captain. Luke Morton is.
You've been kidnapped from us, the TOs,
Yes.
and given a rifle and sent into battle, Stuart. What's your overlord doing to you lot? Because you've rounded up some of the biggest names on TTS, Luke hasn't he?
Well, I like that that Luke has nicknamed me. I think he's called me Mr. Indecisive, but he was more indecisive than me, definitely. So, I mean, me and him were kind of umming and ahhing a little bit about what we want to play. I think a lot of us go through a stage in Age of Sigmar where we kind of feel like between armies, and I think Luke feels a little bit like that at the moment, where you don't entirely have something that you like. So he ended up going with the KO because
for the
it's
second
good.
tournament in a row. It is good,
It is good,
but
and that's the reason he's running it. I don't think he enjoys playing it that much, because it's a little. I mean, KO's. It's
hard to
not
play.
entirely Age of Sigmar, is it? It's kind of a different
the
game.
power of shooting, isn't it? So what are KO in the current meta, and why are they good? Because you've got the reroll hits on the flare pistol, so you can sort of pick off a key target. Your whole army shoots at a very long range. You can teleport. That's kind of
I think in
the
this
end of it,
list,
and
it's just the Ironclads, man, that do the damage with the reroll hits of 1 in Barrack 3. You can be like 2s rerolling 1s, and then 2s to wound, and also like no one uses this weapon, but people really should. This great volley cannon is really good. It's like 46 shots, 3s, -1/1 damage. But particularly against Seraphon, when they're reducing the damage by 1, if you take this instead of the other options, this is like a lot better. So I really like the great volley cannon. Now with the last word, I unfortunately had the pleasure of playing against this a lot, and last word plus unleash hell, you can do both, and then like using a triumph at the same time for like 8d6 shots with the great volley cannon, and then all his other shots is horrific, man. Does so much damage. Like charging that thing with something that's good is just kind of suicide. So you need something to take the unleash hell, but it's really hard to keep the thing that takes the unleash hell alive because you can just shoot it off so easily. It's just so hard to deal with the Ironclads.
The last word, I know the unleash hell you can't, but the last word he can basically choose whatever things that charge in the ironclad. So you can charge in your 3 Aether wings. That's all well and good. But if you then charge with your fulminators in afterwards, he can then pick the last word to shoot the fulminators, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, possibly. But yeah, the thing that I've been the victim of is just him doing both at the same time. And
Like, I'm right about that, right? The last word being able to choose who it shoots.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
okay, yeah,
Bit of tech.
yep,
But yeah, it's two ironclads, isn't it? And then the stuff that goes with it.
yeah. And obviously with that as well, you know, there's a possibility of like you get charged by the crap, and then your last word the crap, and then the other thing charges, and then you unleash held out. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
it's still difficult to get around anyway. Yeah.
And bringing down an ironclad is you know, 3-up save, 18. If you can't roar it and it's got the +1 save on it, it's 2-up save, 18 wounds. You need to put something substantial in it, and you're going to be weakened by all this shooting that's going to be coming in at you for the first couple of turns.
He's got a lot of
And,
healing as well. Like he's got 200 masters and 300 riggers, so there's a lot of healing
Yeah.
in there.
Healing, and I think this is a list that pivots around the double turn a lot, isn't it? I think the games are sort of decided on priority roles and things like that, as always has been the way with KO. But
I mean, the turn
it's
2
gonna-
priority is huge, but like there's always the awkward choice
Yeah.
against this list where it's like, well, do I go first and like try and block him from like blocking me in, but then I have to take a double, or do I go second and let him block me in, but then I don't get doubled? You know, it's rough. Yeah. Because he's not going to get the choice most games because he is high drop. He's 6 drops because you need to put the ironclads in the Alpha Beast pack, which is I think is hilarious that the D6 move is like fly high and then bring all your Endrin riggers along with it. Just love it. D6 move equals move entire army turn 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
interesting.
anywhere on the board. It's almost like it's a loophole, a bit of jank that someone who's never exploited janky rules
to be
before
fair,
is trying
To be fair,
exploit.
Luke, like we all were playing this as jank, and we were like, "There's no way they're gonna keep this in the game." And then in the fact they kept it in the game, we're just like, "What?" Like, I guess we can play it now. But anyway, that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, strong
So
list.
you got Luke doing that. Yeah. What else have you got with you? You
Hacky,
got
hack, hack.
It is a hacky list, but it's beautiful. Okay, we got Tobias playing. He's playing Legion of the First Prince. Not a huge amount to say about this, but basically, there is the choice between whether you want to run Kairos or not. You can take him out and run more pinks. That's the option. But really the reason you want him in here is for just some long range damage here. So like if you're playing against Vanguard Raptors, being able to just kill 3 of them with his spell is great. And it definitely warrants worth taking him. But other than that, yeah, more or less what you'd normally see. He's got Bridge in here, which you really need. Unfortunately meant I couldn't run Kragnos because he needs Bridge. But that is what it is. It's definitely better use of Bridge.
Tobias has bullied you into giving him all of the key pieces. He's got Be'lakor, Kairos, the Demon Prince, the Scribes, which are eligible in all sorts of different lists in different subfactions. Pinks, the Portal, and the Bridge. He's got all of the stuff that you'd be able to see in various lists across the team. You've given them all to Tobias. He's your... Because this is one of the best lists in the game.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's why. Yeah. So it's going to win a lot, especially in teams. It doesn't have any bad matchups. It can basically play into anything. So you can bus
put it on a battle plan that you want, and then just go.
You can bus it. You can give it a really good matchup. There's plenty of those, but it doesn't really have any mega bad ones.
I think this is your put this thing turn 1 and be like, what do you want to try and deal with this, and then try and get your better matchups with the other lists that were a bit more technical, like Luke's and stuff.
In my opinion, it has like one really bad matchup, but I don't think anyone's playing it where it's just like you just run Soulblight Gravelords with like only Graveguard, and then you probably can't win against that. But other than that, there's not that much. Like even the Stormcast stuff, like even the Stormcast and the Cities Sigmar stuff, still struggles to get through all the stuff, man. It's rough for everybody.
Well, he's got 1 unit of 20 instead of the 2 units of 10. Is there any reason why it's with a unit of 20 and not spread out?
Yeah, it's just a bridge. So
you can get the whole unit teleporting at once. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yep.
All right. Who else have you managed to cobble together with your team, Stu?
Okay, we got Philip Cartev, which I think is the first time he's playing with the Chosen, but he's running. I think is it the same list as the last tournament? At least it's very close. Um,
It's
yeah,
the same.
with the Phoenix, the Sorceress, Duralia, who's great, and then
Did he have the Phoenix? Yeah, he had the Phoenix.
yeah, he had the Phoenix,
Yeah.
and then he's got 10 alcoholics as he calls them, the Free Guild Guard. Um, which I don't want to spoil the strategy, but he has an interesting way of guaranteeing that he gets hold the line with those 10 guys. And then 10 Dread Spears, 10 Iron Breakers, and 4 Fulminators and 4 Storm Dread Guards. So we've called him the narrative one to kind of make fun of the 1140 points of Stormcast, but it is what it is. Soup is what it is, unfortunately, but it's a very strong list, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot to say with your team, Stu. To be honest with you, mate, you bring in the filth. Why are you bringing the filth?
Next we got Smorgan, who's running
Just skip over that.
Seraphon.
Yeah.
So he's Thunder Lizards. He's got the Skink Chief and the Engine of the Gods, and 2 Priests, Star Priest, Star Master. And then 2 10 Skinks and 30 Skinks. We're starting to see a bit of resurgence of the Skinks a bit, I think, just to keep up with the bodies. Yeah. And the 2 Bastiladons are in there so that if you play Legion of the First Prince and they Bellicle one of them, you can still double shoot. So that's why they're in there, really. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about that one. It's just really strong. The Skink Chief coming back with the Retresses is really annoying. Really, really annoying. Yeah.
Especially if you did a battle tactic or something, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, and the Slan, as I was saying before, the Slan here is the general. I think that's worth it for the reroll unbinds.
Okay, Mike. Yeah. Definitely worth it. Very strong.
Okay, Orkman is running Dragon Ogres. But he does have a sneaky Gorgon in there. He does have a sneaky Gary the Gorgon, yeah.
And his patented 5 Centigores.
Yep, got to get them in there.
Yeah. And then everything else that we've seen so far in the Miscast list. What sub-faction is he? Is he...
Yeah, he's Darkwalkers, yeah.
Yeah. So the quickly discovered new hot norm for the Beast of Chaos is to spam those Dragon Ogres, isn't it? We're seeing a couple of variations, but either Bulgors or Dragon Ogres or a mixture. And Dragon Ogres seem to be the most popular at the moment, based on the list that we've been seeing. This is what Orkman should be trying to do. This suits his playstyle well, doesn't it? With the whole, here's a bunch of crap, I'm going to win the objectives. I think he's going to play well in this sort of list.
Yep, and it's worth noting on the Dragon Ogres as well. I haven't seen anyone else do it yet, but you can mix weapons like this. So what he's going is the 4 1-inch ones. So your front rank will be 4, and then your back rank to keep you in coherency, you take the 2 2-inch reach guys. So that's what he's done here. So that's always worth it, I think.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the units of 6 of them, definitely. I want to keep track of that Gorgon.
Oh man, I think he's so bad. I think it's so bad. But you gotta, look, it is funny on round 3, like if he keeps him alive for long enough to just have something with like 1,000,000 rend, but I don't think it's good. It's still like 5 attacks, 3s and 3s. It's just, yeah, it is what it is.
Definitely mix the weapons with the Dragon Ogres, right?
Yeah, in the unit of 6, he definitely should put in at least 2 of the 2-inch ones. Yeah.
That's just wording on the.
Yeah, it's always been that way. Yeah.
Each model, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm running Nurgle. I'm running Droning Guard for some reason. I don't know if that's the right choice. We'll see at the end of the tournament what I think. But
that's not the pre-game move, is it?
No, that's the -1 to hit for plague drones in battle round 1, and also when they're set up. So if you bridge them or whatever, you can get -1 to hit again by that bridge. So it's either like it's round 1, or if they're off the board when I set them up, then round 1. So I've got the Guo with -1 to hit and the Wither Stave and the +1 wound spell. He's not very fun.
There, isn't
He's not very fun, but he's good. So you take him.
it?
Yeah. Epidemius, who I think is amazing.
Oh, can we talk about him, Stu? Because why are we not seeing more of this guy? This guy is so good.
I think it's one of those things where like, because obviously there's been some slight rules confusion with him over the time, and we are ruling him in this tournament that it's like 7 the whole game. So he gives you basically, I think it's reroll, casts, unbinds, dispel, and wards. For another Maggot-kin of Nurgle unit. So, yeah, particularly the reroll unbinds and casts are really what's good in this list. So, being able to reroll Life Swarm,
right?
yeah, reroll Life Swarm, being able to reroll Blow spell, being able to reroll the Guo spell. You get all of this without having to take Master of Magic. So in the team environment where someone else wants to take Master of Magic, it's quite good. I don't actually think anyone else ended up taking Master of Magic. Anyway.
Why wouldn't you take Epidemius? Because you told me before he's already just a beast of Nurgle in his War Scroll. So he gives you the rerolls, and he's something that can move around and challenge.
He's actually not that bad in combat. Yeah.
Challenge a unit, yeah. And he's quite tanky, being a Nurgle hero.
Yeah, 7 wounds of the 4-up save with a 5-up ward, so he's still really tanky. You can heal D3 a turn if you're near the Guo, so really tanky. I've taken the Lord of Afflictions in there with the 4-up ward.
Deep Strike?
Yeah, for the Deep Strike. I don't know if I'll take him again, going forward. I don't know. It depends how I feel at the end of the tournament. I was running some other stuff. Like I was running the Harbinger lad, I think. But he's still good. And yeah, and then I got 2 units of 3 Plague Drones and 20 Plague Bearers, and then 9 Untamed Beasts for some reason. Just to block stuff.
Beasts are good. I mean, why wouldn't you?
They're cheap. They're really cheap. I still don't understand why Ungood Raiders are 20 more points than them. That just blows my mind, but they are. And I've got Burning Head in here because with Blow Up you want a way to do damage in the hero phase, and without that I don't have that, so that's why that's in there. Yeah.
Yes, because Blow Up spell means that if you get the debuff on a unit, every phase that unit takes damage, it takes another D3 on a 2-up, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you mark a unit and it takes a lot of models basically.
Basically, what you want to do is Burning Head hero phase, load up an Arcane Bolt, unleash the Arcane Bolt in the movement phase, shoot them in the shooting phase, do charge damage in the charge phase. There's a few units that do that here, and then you do damage in the combat phase, and then in the battle shock phase you roll the disease. So you can get all of the phases if you build your list right. So that's going to be like on average 5d3 extra mortal wounds in your turn, and then it'll last until your next hero phase. So most of the time, if you get the Blow Up spell off and you're close to him, you can just kill the unit. It doesn't matter what it is, it's going to die. Like even big heroes and stuff just die. It's a very strong spell. Yep.
Backed up by Epidemius, it's actually this. I think that I want to stress Nurgle is stronger than people are making out. I don't know why aren't people putting Nurgle high up on their hit list, because I think they're really, really good, and I think for those of you that haven't played against them, they're really frustrating to play against. Aren't they? I mean, you've been playing them. Do you see where I'm getting at here with the just like it's really tanky with a 5-up
Look, it's
board.
not as bad as Glotkin with the Slaves of Darkness Demon Prince. That's just like the worst thing ever. But it's
yeah, work that out.
It's still I mean, even just the Plague Bearers with the +1 wound. It's just a pile of paperwork you don't want to deal with. That's basically what that is. It's just awful.
It really is.
Yeah.
Right. Who else have you roped into your madness, Stu? Is that everyone?
That's everyone. Yeah. So that's
everyone.
That's the team.
So unfortunately, I need to say now, yeah, these guys probably might win it. They're one of the picks that I think that have got the combination of the lists and the player experience there. Well done, Stu. You're one of the ones to watch. You've sold your soul.
We don't have any destruction though. I just realized because we were originally going to be team destruction. We just run like only destruction, but we figured out you couldn't do it. So
then you completely gave up and you went
So apparently we have no destruction, which I mean I don't know if Orkman's in the chat, but I'm pretty devastated about that. That's awful.
And once again, he's betraying his namesake.
I
He's
mean,
getting used to doing
look,
that, isn't he?
Dragon Ogres are like the closest to destruction you can get without playing destruction, so I think he's alright. It's the rest of us that bring shame upon our family for not bringing destruction. So maybe next event we can do it. I don't know. Okay.
You took my swarm off me.
I did. We had a bit argument about that, but
An
okay.
argument you won.
Apparently.
Right. Speaking of what we were just talking about with Nurgle, Stuart, we've got another Nurgle list ran by a keen champion of Nurgle. This is his team.
Yes.
Ray Bear's team is the Great Unclean Grots, and he's kicking off with a pretty spicy Nurgle list.
I love how short his list is in terms of text. It's like,
yeah,
like I can see the other list at the bottom of the screen. It's great, but I love this list. This is a great list. So Lord of the Afflictions General, with overpowering stench, so you can't use command abilities. Can't issue command abilities when you're within 7, and can't receive them when you're wholly within 7. It's actually like it's completely obnoxious, that command ability. It's so good. The command trait, and he's got the 4-8 ward, and then you got Orgots and the Glotkin. Yeah, so he's got 3 generals, which is great, and then he has 13 flies. No, hold on, that's wrong. No, that's see. Now I'm reading. I'm thinking that's the app output or something. It's 7. We did the math.
Yeah.
7.
We did it.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a lot. This is a low body count army, obviously hyper elite.
I know the Glotkin looks really expensive, but it's worth it. It's obnoxious to play against. He's really good.
So his command ability what's it called, like Pus Krieg or something disgusting?
Yeah.
And it's just the old charge whenever your opponent is within 12 of you.
So he charges, and then another unit charges. Now the important thing is that he doesn't receive the command, which it sounds a bit weird, but what it means is if you can like redeploy him using the free CP from Orgots, and then use his command ability. So, because like he's gonna receive the redeploy from Orgots, and then issue the other one, and the only unit that receives the Blitzkrieg one is like the other unit, so like the Pascal Blight Lords or something. So it's quite difficult to play against with the redeploy, I have to say, because there are some other ways around it if he didn't have redeploy, but it's just annoying to play against. And like that one single Pascal Blight Lords can, like, if you want to send some big unit in there, like some dragons or something, you just click the no button, off the Blight Lord goes. Yeah, it's annoying to play against, and he's obviously got the reroll charge Triumph with like a fairly decent bid at 1980. I try and go a bit lower because I've found that one is like really important, because you obviously can't reroll your own charge in the movement phase, but you can if you got the Triumph. So
yeah,
I found that to be really important. The other thing you can do is run like Horticulus with a bunch of Beasts of Nurgle, and they get reroll charges. But the problem with the Beasts of Nurgle is they're just not as good as the Blight Lords, I found. So I can definitely see why he's gone this direction. Yeah.
So Ray Bear leading the charge with his Nurgle. Who's he got joining him?
Okay. We have a player called Loon Boss who's not running Gits, so
Sacrilege.
but he's running cities with I think a fairly standard build.
Although instead of the Fulminators, he's got 30 Iron Drakes and
Yeah.
dragons.
So
But he's got obviously,
and he's Hallowheart as well. He's not living cities, so that's why he doesn't have the Fulminators. So he's really running like the Hallowheart Stormdrake Guard, so they get another 5 up against magic, which is hilarious. So they got a 5 up and yep.
You can roll both.
Yep. And
Jesus.
Warding Brand.
Sure?
Yeah, Warding Brand on Stormdrake Guard is like completely obnoxious. Because like now you have to like deal with the proposition of like, okay, I'm gonna take 18 mortal wounds when I kill them. Like, it's not very fun, is it? So, yeah, I know there's another member on Team Australia who's been playing like a bit of Hallow Heart, Storm Dread Guard, and yeah, the Warding Brand is really difficult to deal with. Okay, and he's got
unit that you need to kill.
Yes.
And you're gonna pay a price to do it. So.
And he's got like the most hilarious thing in the game. So if everyone just have a look at this Rune Lord's gear here. So this is hilarious.
Yes.
So okay, so you're not a wizard, right? You're just a praying guy, and then you make him a wizard with Arcane Tome, okay? And because he's in Hallow Heart, he gets another cast, so he's a 2 caster, and he gets another spell. So 2 spells, you're a 2 caster, and now he can reroll cast, 1 cast per turn with the Master of Magic. So
he's still a priest.
And he's still a priest. So you've gone from like not a caster to like a very good caster. It's hilarious. It's very, very funny. 100 points. Great 100 points, definitely. Yeah.
I fucking hate Master of Magic and Arcane Tome. I think it's so bad.
It's the worst thing ever, isn't it?
So bad.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so main thing 30 Iron Drakes, 44 Storm Drake Guard is the main thread here, right?
Yeah, but he's got the Aether Wings that eat up a Unleash Hell. He's got the Dread Spears for the Sorceress.
He doesn't have a Sorceress. They're actually just like good compared to the other units.
Instead of 3 Guild Guard, yeah, sure.
It's worth the
And then
5
he's got
points, yeah.
The Hurricanum, which I've always liked the Hurricanum. The mortal wounds that it brings, as well as the +1 hit. So, yeah, all in a 1-drop. Is it 1-drop?
Yep.
Yeah, horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yep.
Next.
Okay.
More horror. Kind of still good, but not
Look,
what I was expecting.
Look, it's the Timmy version, and I'm on board with it. I'm on board.
Yeah. Keko Carmen with Thunder Lizard Monster Mash.
Yep. So engine, Croak, 2 priests, 3 stags, Basti, done.
I think this is the first done. I think it's the first time I've seen Croak combined with the Monster Mash. What I would have liked to have seen here is, I know his Rune Lord buddy took it off him, but the Engine of the Gods with the Arcane Tome here, I think would be really good, so he can do the Oracle through Croak through the Engine of the Gods.
Yeah, that's always good, isn't it? But you do the Cloak of Feathers is really good though, so it's always a bit of a toss up. I mean, when you got Retruses and Cloak of Feathers as artifact options, it's difficult to take anything else. Yeah.
Okay, so I would have liked to have seen the Troglodon itself. To be honest with
no,
the Croak, I always think it's worth.
No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. It's not worth it.
All right, fine. But yeah,
it's so expensive. Yeah.
This list is fun, but still really strong. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, you're running monsters, but they're still Seraphon monsters. They're still undercosted. They're still -1 damage. The engine's going off twice. Croak's still denying all the magic in the world. And the Bastardon's still just ruining your day, because that thing is, I think, my least favourite unit in the game. The Thunder Lizard Bastardon.
It's hilarious.
I think it's just, yeah, it's just fucking, what was he called? Battle Woodlouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very strong. The old Battle Woodlouse.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Right.
Oh, these guys are bringing pain. These guys are bringing it, aren't they? Whose team is this? The Great Unclean Grots.
Oh, by the way, I did see this just before, but this thing here is amazing. I know it's really expensive, but it's really good. Especially now since you can. No, it's a spell, but
it's a spell.
But the thing you can do with it now, because because I don't know why he's marked the spell on there, but because Marathi Kane's a Lawmaster now, you can do the whatever it's called. There's a teleport spell on there. I can't remember what it's called.
Shadows.
No, not that one. The mirror dance, I think it is. You can teleport 2 heroes, so you can teleport her up and then cast the Blood Rack Viper. Yeah. So it's quite good at killing Vanguard Raptors if they put them in a dumb spot. So it's it's quite good for that kind of thing. It's quite good at just eating like multi-wound models and getting good value out of that. But other than that, I mean, this Marathi and the Bow Snakes.
Marathi and the Bow Snakes. We know what this does, and I think this is slightly better than the last one that we saw. That it's the unit of 15, the Witch Elves, and the more Shadow Stalkers. I think that's what you want to do is teleport the Shadow Stalkers, protect yourself.
I don't like that. I don't like that it's 2-drop. That's my only qualm with it.
What's he done to get 2-drop?
Well, there's
The
just
heart
6
renders. Do you
units.
even need?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you even need the heart renders at this point?
I think they're just the points don't work with the Viper. That's the reason people don't run it, because like you want to like make one of those witch elves a 20 is what you normally do, but then you kind of end up with some. It doesn't, like, the points don't work. You don't have enough points for the Viper, so.
On a unit of 18 Shadow Stalkers wouldn't piss me off that much, to be honest.
It's not as good as 2 9s though.
It's not,
Yeah.
but I think that's worth the 1-drop in this case. Do you not think? Then on a roll off, you can win versus Stormcast.
The thing is, though, if he's going 2-drop, you can just put the heart renders in the air and then just get your opponent to deploy their whole army. So, I mean, there's an advantage in that. But if you're going to do that, you may as well just go like 10-drop or something. That's my opinion.
No, undoubtedly strong, and I'm actually surprised at the amount of strength that we're seeing coming from these boys. What else have they got with them?
Okay, they've got
Another-
Cruel Boys. So,
Uh,
we need to
cookie
talk
cutter
about
list.
Cruel Boys. So, this is the only Cruel Boys list in the tournament. Now,
okay.
they don't have the best reputation. You know, they're not the strongest army in the game. Let's be honest.
In there.
Yeah. But I think in a team event, they're quite good. Now, he doesn't have much in the way of crap that you normally see in a Cruel Boys list.
Yeah.
He's really got just
And
the
Hobgots
10 gut
and
rippers
10
and
guts.
10. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think his idea is he's going to use the Breaker Boss as like an early game threat that you just kind of throw in, and you can kind of keep your opponent locked in a little bit so they can't get towards the Bolt Boys as fast as they normally do.
He's busy, right?
Yeah, now the
He's
issue is
busy.
with this army with the tournament pack. So because it's TTS, basically the way the terrain is going to work is if it does have vertical height, it's going to be impassable, and if it doesn't, it's going to be area. Now, there are only a couple of maps where there's any like area terrain in your deployment zone, so the covered in mud thing won't work amazingly on the maps, unfortunately. But I think even then, this list definitely, you know, it still has the damage output. It's always a little bit awkward with the range, and he doesn't have bridge, so it's quite easy to play around.
Yeah.
But you don't want to play like Trogs into this. I'll tell you that. You don't, because
No, you wouldn't.
you get like nasty hexed by the Gobsprack, and you don't have a ward, and then just get shot off. It's pretty awful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people think Cruel Boys are bad, and I can see the argument for it. But whenever I've seen them go, and they roll those, you know, it's just the amount of mortal wounds that these guys can chuck out at range. The whole army, the whole list is built around that. You know, it's pretty one-trick pony sort of army. At this
It is a
point.
one-trick
Very
pony
narrow-
list, isn't it?
Very narrow, but it's a strong pony doing 36 mortal wounds at range, I think. But it's just, is it strong enough to win you multiple games in a row? Be interested to see if it can do that in a team setting, because I think it's probably better suited to a team setting than it is a singles. So we'll see. And is that the last of these? No, we've got one more list.
No, we've got
These
Jolly
guys?
Blade, who I believe is the captain. So this is another Nighthawk Nagash one. I think this is the more, I mean, I don't think you could really say the cookie cutter, but it kind of, yeah, this is the more cookie cutter build, I would say, with the spamming of the chain rasps and the
Yeah, I
healing
think
stuff in
Matt
here.
Terrell ran this list last tournament, didn't he? Or something very similar.
Yeah, so
The
this is
chain
really
rasp,
saying, like,
yeah.
trying to minimize the total lack of like board control that Nagash has, trying to like make that a bit better with the chain rasps, and they do get through like trap quite well, which Nagash doesn't. So you kind of got your can opener with Nagash, and then you've got your crap killers with the rest of your army, and there's a lot of healing in here. So it's very good, but in my experience, if Nagash dies for whatever reason, it's pretty impossible to win because you're playing with 1,000 points. But yep, that's Nagash for you.
Nagash for you. So that's a strong team, Stu.
It is a strong team. It's a very strong team. Yeah, they got some seriously good lists in there. The Cruel Boys one, maybe that's like the softer spot of the list. of the team list, but because of a lot of these other lists, you can kind of play into anything, like particularly the Nurgle one and the Seraphon one. You can kind of play into whatever. So you probably should be able to get a good matchup for the Cruel Boys. So yeah, I think that's a great team composition, and good luck to Ray Bear and the boys for the team for the tournament. Yeah. Okay. Next we've got Nosgoth, who's this is their lists are hard as nails.
Isn't it,
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a hard as nails
Squad.
group of lists. Like damn.
Yeah.
So Pitari played in just about every TTS event that we've run and before that as well. Who's running Thunder Lizards with a load of Salamanders, a lot more Salamanders than we've seen other people run.
I should go back and just maxing out on the Sallies here.
And he doesn't have an engine.
Yeah, forgone the engine for the extra unit of Sallies, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know. There's not much to say about this. He's got Master of Magic on the Slan, which is a little bit peculiar. There must be some subtle reason why you wouldn't take Arcane Might over that. I don't know what that is. I'm not a Seraphon player, but he's gone for the 5 Saurus card. Other people haven't. Yeah.
Make sure you get Comet's Call off. I think probably.
Yep. And he's 2-drop.
Double Battle Regiment, 2-drop. This is nasty.
Yep. It's a nasty list. Caius is running. I think this is
a nasty list.
Yeah, this is a very strong list.
This is the Aventus Firestrike.
Yeah, I like Aventus Firestrike. I think he's good. So he gives you like
Aventus...
he gives you +1 to hit basically. So like when he moves, he leaves around some like sparkly glitter that gives you like +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Apparently. So the Stormdrake Guard getting a free +1 to hit as well as the Raptors and even the Liberators. I mean, it's just free, so it's great kind of economically.
Shooting.
Yeah, he's a spell, so you can get, I think Celestial Blades is +1 to wound. So they can be on 2s and 2s without having to spend any command points. I think it's, I also think sometimes with this list you struggle with the grand strategy a little bit. So having another monster in here, having another monster to go Beastmaster I think is quite good as well. And he does heal D3 in the hero phase as well.
Having a monster for Monstrous Takeover is always good as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
You know,
yeah.
If they do manage to focus off the Storm Drake or they're contesting an objective, you can just do an easy Aventus go sit on this objective sort of thing.
Absolutely. Okay. And then they got Legion of the First Prince with 40 pinks.
Kairos.
Yeah, now they don't actually have Be'lakor in here, by the way.
No Be'lakor, no.
Yeah, which is interesting.
But so many pinks. Gosh.
Yeah, the choice here is whether you want to go Be'lakor or Kairos if you want to go the 1-drop. And I understand why they're going the Kairos. Like, you want the magic defense, you want the long-range damage. Be'lakor doesn't die, and he has the disable, obviously, but other than that, he doesn't really do much. So I can definitely see the argument here for going Kairos instead of Be'lakor.
Enough control and disable from the Demon Prince combined with this many pink horrors as well as I think the only thing you're going to stop with Be'lakor that you're not going to be able to stop here is like a shooting unit shooting at you for a turn. But how much does that matter
you would worry about Kairos just getting one shot here. That's. I mean, I don't think it necessarily matters that much, but you would worry about that.
Or the Demon Prince, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
But the pinks are going to win this game on their own, aren't they? Just that many pinks. Not a lot can deal with that.
Yep. And then we got.
Oh my god!
I love this list, by the way. This is great. I love the Griffin. He's hilarious. So he's got that new mount trait where like
he's
got that new mount trait where like once you die, I think on a 2-up you come back like more than 9 away on 1 wound or something. So yeah, they basically like decided to make these guys phoenixes, more or less.
Cities didn't have access to phoenixes before, did they?
Yeah. But he's got the artifact which gives you, I think it's +1 rend and you strike first when you charge. I think that's how that works.
Yep. Spear of the Hunt, strike first and +1 rend, yeah.
He's got a sneaky Blackheart Fleet Master to make the Scourge run to Chariot's battle line. I don't know what the Assassin does, but he's there. He's got
Can
a
it
low.
hide in a chariot? I don't even think it can hide in a chariot.
I
I think
don't
you need
think
to be
so.
wounded of one.
Um,
I think it's just on his own. Well, is that just a hero to bring along with the? It's a cheap hero to bring along.
yes, that is what it's for, probably, just to
Do the
bring off
command
the board,
ability,
do
yeah.
the command ability. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
got is it seven Scourge Runner chariots.
And these guys are really points efficient, and their shooting combined can actually feel quite okay, can't it?
Yeah, it's not what it used to be. I think it used to be like 3 for 140 or something. It's like something mental like that, but they're still really cheap. He's got the 10 flagellants in there. It's become a little bit of a meme, the flagellants, but there's a particular battle tactic which requires you using flagellants, so that's why they're in there, I guess. But also, it's just funny because they're like awful, but there's a battle tactic. And then he's got 3 units of fulminators. Yep.
So 8 fulminators in total, and Living City is definitely the home of the fulminators. So
Yeah, and
spread
having
out
this
their
many
Stormcast
chariots
units.
lets him get 3.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yep.
Because if you go the
Got
battle
one-
regiment, you can't get 3 units in there.
So he's facilitated the 1 in 4 coalition bring in the Stormcast thing here. I really like the way that this team have split their Stormcast units across their lists as well. I think they've
Yep.
done that quite smartly.
Okay.
And they've got another. We were saying this. Oh, it's not quite what the.
Well, it's the
second
one drop
chapter is.
version, right? So normally you'd see the 2 mega bosses in there, but if you take one out and you run the rogue idol, then you can be 1 drop. So that's why he's done that. Yep.
This is the Iron Jaws. You've got Blood Tooth to make the pigs battle line. The pigs do obscene amounts of damage, buffed or unbuffed. I think pigs are just still really good. I know you think the 170 is kind of expensive for them, but when you have 6 pigs and you think, oh, that's like 40 damage, it's just kind of ridiculous. The Mega Boss itself is obviously going to cause a lot of people's problems. The setup he's got on it is the Touch by Wa. Is that the... which one does that one do?
So again, we got the case of he's not a wizard, and then he becomes a wizard, and then he gets access to the wizard command traits. So
God.
Touched by the Wire, you do D3 mortals to a unit, so I'm assuming the Firelord boys, and you get that in terms of plus to cast. Yeah.
I think he's missing a mount trait.
He hasn't
you are
got one
correct.
listed.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We'll get that sorted.
We'll get that sorted.
Yep.
I imagine he would want to go something like Fasten or something, wouldn't he? He's got unit of 6, unit of 3, 4 Gunters, some hard boys, and another unit of pigs. I missed the unit of pigs, and one of Luke's units to watch. 3 Ripper's Snarl Fangs. Great unit. Big fan
No,
of
they're
this.
not.
Big
They're
fan
not
of this.
good.
I want to
No,
see.
they're not
I
good.
would like to have reported back to me on what these guys get up to. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
good
they were
units
better
already
before the
Unleash
Unleash Hell. I think they were better before the nerfs. Now it feels a little bit. Yeah, I would rather probably just 5 hard boys personally, but
Nah, they're great. They're fast. Right.
okay,
What
and
is
then
rounding out this
Marathian, the
show?
bow snakes, but emphasis on bow snakes because he's only got bow snakes.
I mean, I've always thought this. Why wouldn't you? Just the extra damage. I know it's not going to be as much. Obviously, you don't get the buffs being stacked, but they do the same thing. They're still just bodies screens.
I don't know. I quite like the witch
get
elves
them to
actually.
do-
I find them quite difficult to deal with. Because they're gonna trade up every time because they're like actually good at killing crap. So I don't know.
Yeah, because they've got like 4 attacks each. But this is going to continue to pressure your heroes and your key pieces better than the witch elves will, because you've got the double shooting 15 stalkers.
Oh yeah, you don't want to play foxes against this. It's awful.
I mean, this is just the shooting list, isn't it? It's all the damage at range. It does all of its damage shooting, and if you have a weakness to shooting or you're reliant on certain heroes being alive, then they're not going to be. So what's this team, Stuart? We've got Seraphon, Thunder
Seraphon,
Lizard, Stormcast, Dragons, Raptors,
Legion
Legion
of
of
the
the
First.
First Prince, Pinks, Living City Fulminators, Iron Jaw Pigs, and Doc. This is filthier than yours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's hard as nails. I think. Yeah.
That is probably all 6 of those lists are in the top 10 of lists available in the game at the moment, aren't they?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. So, ones to watch, I guess.
Okay.
Out-
Next we got Team Not Too Bad. I think this is the first Techless
Don't
we've
know
got.
these
I think it
guys.
might be the only Techless one.
Techless. I still rate Techless. Stuart.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's really
surprised
good.
He's not about.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's really good. You just don't want to. I think in singles he's awful, but in team, because you can dodge the Vanguard Raptors that just shoot you off turn 1, he's good. Yeah.
Right. So we've got Zytrek. So this is the wizard subfaction for the Lumineth, isn't it? Everything's getting. Is it the extra cast you can do? The extra +1 to cast?
Yeah, you get +1 to cast. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got Techless. He's got the Lord Regent, which I think is great to have the extra second go at the Sentinels if something goes wrong with your spell. Because you really want those 30 Sentinels getting that 5 up to Immortals. Got 3 units of 10 Wardens and the Sentinel. So it's very, very simple list, isn't it? With the Life Storm and the Spell Portal rounding it out. Well, it's simple in its as a list, but in terms of playstyle, it's lots of layers and it's quite complex, actually, isn't it? It always is with Techless in the Lumineth because he can do so much, knowing what is it like 18 spells or even more. But yeah,
I think it's like 21 now or something.
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah.
they all have a purpose for a lot of things. And obviously, what you don't want, he doesn't have the Cathalar, so he's not going to be able to do all of the battle shock bullshit where he gives the battle shock bullshit for you. But having your whole army -2 bravery and double command points it can be really crippling to a lot of people's plans, and you can get that off with the spell portal and the Tetnado, all 4 of those quite comfortably.
I mean the Cathalar is just not worth 10 Wardens. That's the choice there. So that's why it's not in there.
No, but the bodies help. The weakness obviously is still the bodies and the
Yeah, it
objective
is.
play.
Yeah.
So I think, how do we, what's this trying to avoid? Is it going to try and avoid these Soulblight Gravelord, Pink Horror, tanky, grindy lists?
Oh
Or
yeah,
is it gonna
you
try
can't play Verse Legion of the First Prince with this list. It's
No,
awful.
but it's going to try and focus on the other lists that are... How do you feel about this into something like Nurgle or something like that?
It's
or the...
not good into Nurgle at all, either.
No.
Because it's just the 5 up
What's it-
boards just really screw you over.
Especially with the Tetnado. So what's it trying to go into?
I think it's. I mean, historically, it was good against. Let me think. I think it's decent into Seraphon. It's not good into Gargants, but there are only like a few Gargant players. I mean, the thing is, this is the sort of list where it can really 20-0 some lower tier stuff. So like playing this into Khorne, for example,
Yeah.
it's just awful for the Khorne player. Stuff like that, you can really like 20-0 a lot of armies. I also think it has a capacity to get 20-0 though,
Yeah.
by a few things.
But I think it's one of those armies where it's in the... If it's not in the A tier, you're going to lose to this, right? In terms of your faction that you're bringing. If you are bringing that Khorne or the Trogs or the Slaanesh or the Sylvaneth, you just also lose that, don't you?
Yeah, I just think the meta is maybe not the best for it in terms of singles and stuff, but if you can get the right matchup, it's good. Yeah.
That's the Lumineth list, and then we've got a Zinch list, a Host Arcanum one this time round.
Yeah, with no pinks. And he's also taken the demonic simulacrum, which you never see, but it does do like a decent amount of damage. It's just maybe a bit expensive.
That like the weird...
The one that does
Order
more damage to
change head.
wizards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was funny because you're all wizards, but I guess that's like Zinch. But he's got double chicken, and then 4 wizards. Yeah, and then
Man,
3 units of Carix. Yeah.
All these Zinch lists are just bringing me back to AOS2 with like the 6 heroes and stuff.
Oh
Although
man, do you
Bakara
remember the start of
Castellan is-
AOS 3 with Cogs though? Oh my god.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I almost blocked that one out, yeah.
Hero phases that took
six
like
wizards,
7
yeah.
hours.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
everything's doing twice. But He's got Purple Sun in here instead of Cog Stewart. That's his endless spell of choice this time
Yeah.
round. He obviously likes his cookie endless spells. so, so
I've
big fan
never
of
I've
those.
never seen Purple Sun in AOS 3.
It's really bad. Have you read the War Scroll?
I
It's
have not
terrible.
read the War Scroll.
It's terrible.
Okay.
It could. You know how endless spells are bound to a wizard now?
Yeah.
It can unbind itself from a wizard.
Oh.
Well,
It's just a loose cannon, is it?
yeah. Then it goes back to like waving around by itself, killing your own army. But yeah, it's great.
All right.
Interesting. I'd like to see how that one does because it's obviously missing the pinks, and it's always a question to how much is Tzeentch resting on that War Scroll. So, joining the Tzeentch are some Gargant Stewart. Mitch running his Stomper tribe.
Yeah, it is Stomper, which is interesting. But
It is
he's
good. I like
yeah.
the Stomper.
He's obviously got the. So I think is this the first? This is the one where he comes back, right? Club with the first two.
He comes back on a 2 up.
Yeah, and then Ironwold Cestus is the reroll saves. So
Best artifact in that book. It's the only reason you go Stomper tribe, in my opinion. He has gone eager for the fight as the command trait, which is the 3d6 charge, because
Yep.
obviously Kragnos isn't this list, so the 3d6 charge is good. You often see that paired with like the Arcane Tome and the Bridge combo, but in a team tournament you wouldn't expect that because that takes up quite a lot of team resources there. But this is still for Gargants. We haven't seen a lot of it recently, and I'm talking about very recently, i.e. the last tournament. But Gargants still play the game very well, don't they? And they play the objective game, they play the battle tactic game, which is obviously how you win games. I like the 2 gate breakers in this list because I think one of the things that you do lack sometimes with Gargants is damage. Like, it sounds weird, but you do lack damage sometimes, especially in the current meta. That Ren 3 really helps. And +1 to wound from the Vial of the Mentor on one of those gate breakers is pretty cool as well. So I think he's done what he can here, and I'll be interested to see how it goes. There's always limited options with the Gargants, but I don't hate it.
okay. And we have another Beast of
Some
Chaos
more
list.
Zangals. Some 2 Gorgons. Yes.
Gary and Gazza, the Gorgons. Yeah. Another sort of mixed list. I appreciate when people don't spam as much because I think there's a lot going on in the book that's good. Yeah, he's gone Gavspawn, which we haven't really seen yet, which is the +1 attack command ability, and also your heroes turn into spawns where they die. And he's got the Beast Lord in here with the mutating Gnarlblade, so the +2 damage, and if he kills a model, it's changed now. I believe it's like +1 to wound, and then if you killed a hero, it's also +1 to hit, something like that. In an aura
he's
for
on
the
the list
Brayhurt stuff. Yeah.
He's on the list of models to watch. I want to see what he does. Mr. Beast Lord, can he kill anything? Surely he just doesn't get into combat. But
He has run and charge now. He didn't used to have that, so maybe.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Where'd he get that from?
He got a Broken Realms War Scroll. Yeah.
Wowzers. Go on, lad. Yeah, I like. Okay, cool. Not as spammy as the other lists we've seen. He's still got a couple of the units of Bulgors and some Dragon Ogres, but he's gone for, as well as the MSU units, a couple of blocks. So he's got the 30 Ungors and the 20 Zangors, right?
Yep.
So, and then 2 monsters. So it's actually a well-balanced Beast of Chaos list, Stuart, isn't it?
Yeah, and most of the units here are kind of built around the +1 attack buff. So like the Great Axes are the best thing to benefit from +1 attack. And same with
Warglaives too.
the Warglaives, yeah. I would have liked to see probably all the Bulgors and Hunters or something like that. But
He hasn't got Hunters, which is strange. But yeah.
Because he's a lot of drops anyway, isn't he? 7, yeah. I would have
7.
just gone Hunters. But
Oh, so Beast
Cool.
of Chaos, and then Seraphon. Because why not?
with
This
6
time
Croxagore, woo!
with the correct 6 Croxagore and the 5 Salamanders. So this is a Tavi list.
Yeah, he's got the
This
sneaky skinks in as well, the camos, which I still think are
Yeah,
way
yeah,
too expensive. But
This is what I call, this is the correct Seraphon list in my opinion. This is as good as it gets. I think this is great.
What can we say about this? I mean, the Croxagore, the main difference here, as opposed to like a second Basti or like the Skink Chief. He doesn't have the Saurus Garden here. That's been the choice so far. So I guess to follow that, the Slan isn't the general. Yep.
Skinks, I still think they're great. And Cog Stuart is an endless spell. What's you done that for?
I don't know. I don't know. Plus on the charge, maybe. I'm not really sure.
I can't work that one out. That's interesting.
Hold on. Has he got the? Okay, I've got it. He wants the Starseer to cast his spell and Hand of Glory. There you go. That's what that's for.
Why? Okay, sure.
Yep. That's actually not that bad, to be honest. That's probably worth 45 points.
The Starseer spell's good, yeah.
Yeah. So give something +1 save or -1 save to an enemy, and then Rara wants to hit with the Hand of Glory. So. Yep.
So there's some good lists in this team mixed in with some. Are we finished yet, or is there one more list to look at for these guys?
I think there's one more.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, OBR. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is one of those fun lists.
This is the only one OBR in the list in the tournament. I think we've seen similar things do well before in other parts of the world. Similar lists like this
with the Morghasts.
Yeah, the Morghasts are really what you see the main threat. I think if they go down, it's difficult to win, but they're quite tanky, and they've got the 3d6 charge, so easy to get in. Yeah, it's
Arcan, which is always a pain for people to deal with, and then 40 Mortek Guard, and the Death Riders. I always like the inclusion of the cavalry just to have a bit more speed in their list. It's nicely balanced as well. A bit of everything in this.
Yep, and he's just made sure he's accounted for the. The Skaven and the Gits matchup with the Crawler,
Oh no! God.
Yeah. Oh man. I
so
remember
if we get this, if I get this team, I'm gonna have to be if you could avoid
I don't think it's
great.
I don't think it's that bad for you, but like I think it's really bad for like Plague Monks because they're bravery 4. So if you run 60 of them, half of them die. It's pretty.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
it's bad when half a unit dies. Yep.
Right. I like the OBR. We always like seeing those lists. So this is there's some interesting lists here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is an interesting team composition.
So some strength there. I think the Gargants will do well, and that Seraphon list will do really well as well. And then a lot of flavour. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. I'm interested to see how that Beast Lord with the Gnarl Blade does. keep an eye on him.
Okay. We got the Escalatournals. I'm assuming that's like as in South California. We got a Slanesh list. Woof.
He's bringing it, and he's not the only one. Weirdly.
Yeah. Now there was some list subby stuff here, and I believe he ended up winning the fight to get the shackles. So, and also the Sphinx, I think. So yeah. Now I have to admit, I never really know what's going on when I read a Slanesh list because it's like
I don't know what Sinessa does. I know that Hellstriders are bad. Blissbarb Seekers are okay, but they've not got the good ones. I do not know what that Chaos Spawn does. I don't really know what the Mind Stealer does in this list, considering he's got the shooty forces. Cockatrice, what is going? What the fuck is going on?
Well,
you know what this is? I don't know what this is.
Well, so it's a lot of small units with the Fomoroi Crusher. Okay, so you can get a lot of, a lot of depravity, and I believe the Sphinx is for, like when you summon something in, then you can get the rerollable charge with the Demonettes with +1 to charge with Godseekers. And
charge, does it?
Yeah, the banner gives you reroll charge, and then they get +1 from Godseekers. So yeah.
What's that got to do with the Mind Stealer Sphinx?
I don't know. They get to go first, and then you can go first with another unit, or I don't know.
No, because the Mind Stealer Sphinx is in the hero phase.
Yeah, so you got to already be within 12.
Oh, I don't like that.
No. He's got shackles
and
in there as well for
which
like a control
which
element.
he proudly fought over. So this team accidentally submitted lists with 2 lists with shackles in, didn't they? And the Sinesh list won the fight. You said, this is up there in one of the most confusing lists I've seen in a long while. So
Well, it's sort of like a castle list. That's the thing. That just stands there and gets summoning points. I think that's mostly how it works. You're going to get a lot of summoning points here.
I can see a flaw in that battle plan, in that battle technique, but I really hope he does well. I hope he wins the game.
Honestly,
Okay.
Luke, they're not as bad as you think they are. Like, in terms of win rate, like, it's as good as Ogres, so...
Sinesh are fine. Well, they're not good, but they're fine. You know, they play the alpha pin sort of list where you run forwards, take first, you pin them in, and then you backfill with your summoning points. I get that, and you sort of denying your opponent movement, generating depravity, and winning on the objective game. But I don't see how this does that different to the a couple of units of the archers, a couple of units of the slick blades, the epitome. I don't know what the rest of the
It's just like, you got to think about, like,
stuff is
most of
doing.
what's in the list is not in the list, you know? Like, it's like the summoning army, so it's probably going to get 1,000 points for summoning if the game goes all
Yeah, but
right.
he's summoning what, fucking demonettes?
Yeah, and
Big
it's a little bit of a Ponzi scheme because, like, it's not worth, the units are not worth 1,000 points. So,
Yeah,
but
inflated prices. Right,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
an interesting one. That got us talking. And another interesting list because we're not running the new rules album
Yes.
with the Ardeneth Deepkin or the Fire Slayers. So this is old IDK.
Yeah,
What's he
no
got?
Frankenstein armies at my tournaments. Basically he's got the Tidecaster. I'm assuming to flip the tides. Yeah, and also make the Reavers battle line. Yep.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Make the Reavers battle line. That's right. So he's got 3 units of Reavers, and then Sharks and the defensive eels and the turtle. We always saw the turtle and the Eidolon, didn't we, as the 2 pillars of the IDK list in the old sort of list that we saw, and then
Yep.
Sharks at their old cost, a good value still. Actually pretty. Normally you'd see the Killian King or Volturnus, but other than that, it makes sense to me. This is what I can see Ardeneth doing. The 30 Reavers is interesting, but they can shoot a few things and maybe kill a unit of 10 stuff. Get rid of the screen.
It's nice having bodies at the end of the day, even if they're
Yeah.
not like the best bodies in the world. Yeah.
Now, how many drops is he? Two drops, 2 battle
2
regiments.
drops.
Okay.
Yeah.
This IDK, I think this is a pretty simple IDK list, right? I like it. It's good to see them.
Yeah, I personally
am
would maybe
interested to
prefer
see how
having
that will go.
more sharks in there. Maybe make the Ishlayan battle line
the
and put some
Ishling
more
Guard,
sharks.
yeah. Yeah, like this is what he's chosen here. He's chosen to go the Tidecast on the Reavers instead of some more eels or sharks, which is what we normally would have seen for these lists. But see how those Reavers go. I think they're expected to be some of the new hotness, aren't they? The Reavers, I think.
I'm still skeptical, but they seem
Yeah, we'll
very
see.
expensive to me. But we'll see.
We'll see. Some Nighthaunt. Wow, this is some funky lists going on here.
Nagash again. Woo!
Yeah. So all the Nighthaunt lists have had Nagash so far.
Yeah,
haven't
this is a mix of the other two. So he's got the 9 Spirit Hosts, but instead of the Grimgeist, he's got the Chain Ras. But he is in Emerald Host. Yeah. I like the Cruciator though. He's quite good. So he gives you like a 5-up ward aura when you kill something with the shooting. Which with Unleash Hell, if you manage to kill, actually you don't even. I think you just have to dual wound. You can get the 5-up Feel No Pain aura up. And then, with Nagash, you can put that to a 4-up. So you can have like the Spirit Host on a 4-up ward in combat. It's quite good. Yeah.
I believe you.
But the Cruciator is quite easy to kill. So is Nagash. It's all the problems we talked about with the previous one. You don't want to pair it into something that can shoot stuff off. But it's quite grindy. Nagash slaps. Yeah. It's quite straightforward, really. You just don't want Nagash to die.
I would like to think that if Nagasha's got a place, it's in the team tournaments rather than the singles, right? So it's good to see a couple of them. And we'll see
I
if
still
that
think you can go 5-0 with them if you get a bunny run in the singles tournament, but you'd have to dodge. You'd have to dodge a lot of Stormcast, or just roll really
anything
well
with
on the
shooting,
turn.
Yeah. All right. We've got a Zinch list poking its head. What's
This is
another one
this
of
is the
these-
legend running the exalted greater demon of Zinch.
Christ.
The big bin chicken, and then the slightly
It's
smaller one. Yep.
called a bin chicken for a reason, isn't it, Stuart? Because it's where it belongs.
It's okay. Yeah, I believe the exalted one gets he gets a bigger
Couple of
plus
extra
one.
wounds.
He gets extra wounds. He gets I believe the plus one in the cast aura is slightly larger. And then I think his
What is
spell
larger?
is slightly bigger. His spell is slightly better.
He's just a bigger chicken, isn't he? He's just literally just bigger.
Yeah, he is.
Just bigger.
It's quite similar to the
is
other
it-
list we saw before, so no pinks.
Yeah, yet another Zinch player that's had the pinks ripped away from him of our team format. He's managed to net himself the spell portal though. I just can't believe we're seeing all these 6 heroes Zinch lists. Stuart. It's so strange.
It's hilarious, isn't it? I love it.
It
Like
is.
the double warlord with the
Yeah.
spell
cogs.
enhancement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very
It's kind of the Johnny dream, but I don't know if it's durable enough, to be honest.
I don't see how this captures objectives or kills
Oh,
a
that
lot,
as
to be
well.
honest, but yeah.
Yep.
Oh, God, Thermaturge though. Good lad.
Okay, we got
will
I
say-
think this is the only big war list in the tournament.
These guys are breaking my mind. with their list.
So I quite like this one actually. It's like a load of foot orcs, basically. He doesn't
It
have
is
a
load
war
of foot
crusher.
orcs.
He's got 2 war chanters, 2 mega bosses, and then Wurgo Prophet
Another
with the
single monster.
tattoos. And then he's got the weird knob shaman with the teleport, and then the thing that gives you bonuses to cast. Then he's got 5 Ardboys, 5 Ardboys, 15 brutes. Oh, big unit,
Christ.
big unit.
That's
Fif-
a big unit.
15 Ardboys, 5 Ardboys, and then 2 Killbows.
What the killbow? What the killbows? What are the?
You know, the Killbows are not that bad, okay? They're not that bad, actually. I think they're better in Gits, but they're still not that
I
bad
think
here.
the 15 brutes upsets me the most actually, but I like it at the same time.
Look, with the teleport, with the bonus, the bonus to cast, yeah, it's likely it's going to go off, and he's going to get the 15 brutes in. It's just the problem is, like, you kill something, and then they just die. That tends to be my experience with them. So,
It's quite slow. I really don't know why he hasn't got a war crash.
well, I think that's the
Okay.
thing. He's playing, like, some kind of, like, castle army, right? I think that's the idea. And
Castle orcs.
You kind of, well, because
Sure.
the big War Legion's abilities are more tilted towards, like, the grind. Getting the War points at, like, the end of the combat phase when you're still in combat and that kind of thing. So, that's the direction here, I think. Yep.
I really like this because it's just changing. It's challenging me. These lists, and I like that. What else have I got? Okay, this
Gargants.
isn't challenging. This is obviously.
I think this is
Cool.
pretty much exactly the
The
same
same.
list as the other
Yeah.
one. The only difference is the Mantle of the Destroyer, which is Bravery 10 and Reroll Charters, which I think is better.
Yeah. It's better than the club of the first oak. I agree. Other than that, it's literally the exact same list.
Yep,
One artifact change. Yep.
it's Gargants with a reroll save.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, so
Just
what
to
do
see
we
how
what do we
strong
think
the
about this
stopper has
team?
been.
There's some
This
wacky
is,
stuff
this
here.
has blown my fucking mind, Stuart. I mean, I'll say one thing. These guys at Salcal Eternals, weed is legal in California. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Well. All right.
I wish them the best. They're one of my favourites. That's great. I really hope they do well. I want to keep track of them. Yeah, this is what fucking orcs look like, Stuart. Look, this is the orc list.
Yeah, this is the list,
Some big
right?
apples. Some big apples. Yosoi Bush is running. That's great. Is running Iron Jaws with Blood 2, what you'd expect, and it is the classic double crusher, double war chanter, He hasn't got the orc wizard. He's got the goblin wizard instead, and then 4 units of pigs. Um,
Yep.
it's a very simple army to play. It's a very simple army to play against, but it's got some powerhouse war scrolls, and they get in and they do a lot of damage, and that
Yeah.
can be a lot to ask from some lists to be able to deal with.
Now, he's the
They
first
get
person I've
combined.
seen run Mega Bossy, right? So I think that lets you use Mighty Destroyers twice.
Yeah.
Which is why he's got the Cave Shaman in there to get the extra command point, because it's just like the most command point hungry thing in the world. But it's, yeah, you can basically move all 4 units of the Gorgrunters and the Mega Bosses in, which is hilarious. So just, move your whole army in whenever you want. Yep.
This will alpha a lot of shit off the board, I think. So.
But it's high drop, so
You
you're
don't
gonna get to,
Oh, he's not in Battle Edge, of course.
no, because you want the
normally
Warlord.
you see these in two drops, I guess. But he wants
Okay.
the Warlord. Yeah, he wants the Warlord. Right. Vogard with Beasts of Chaos. How does this differ from the other Beasts of Chaos that we've been seeing?
Again, I want to appreciate that he hasn't completely just spammed the same unit over and over again. I always appreciate that.
Jabba Slythe.
Yes, and he's the first one to have the courage to run the Jabba Slythe. Which
I remember.
I've read that
we
war
had a
scroll like
conversation.
7 times, and I
Yeah.
still have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. You said it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Jabba Slythe.
It is
How's
good.
it good? What's the Jabba Slythe and why is it good?
It's very unorthodox, but so there's 2 ways in which it's good. So the first one is they added a monstrous action, which you can like lower the save of an enemy hero by 1 or 2 if you roll a 6, right? So that's very good for killing a hero. But then there's the other thing of so first of all, he has the Magma Dross rule basically, right? Where if you do a wound to him on a 4-up, he does a mortal wound back to you. And he's 10 wounds.
It's a 5-up, but yeah.
Oh, it's 5-up, is it? Well, he's a 4-up, and he's 10 wounds. So you're going to take like 5 mortals in combo when you kill him, okay? And then he has another rule, which is like it's just the most bizarre rule in the game. It basically like, you roll against bravery, and if you exceed your opponent's bravery, they get +1 attack, which is terrible. But then, if they roll a 1 to hit, they do a mortal wound to themselves, right? So, you kind of throw him in, and he just blows up, and they take 5 mortal wounds from killing him, and then you've got to still roll all of your attacks into him. So if you've got some like mega buffed up unit,
Yeah, I see.
then they're going to take quite a number of mortal wounds.
60 zombies.
I think really what hates this kind of thing is like the dragons or the fulminators or something, because they've actually got quite a lot of attacks. So if they roll a lot of 1s, then you're actually going to get quite a bit of value out of the Jabba Slythe. Yeah, so I think he's interesting. And then the rest of this list,
The dragons.
yes.
Good to know.
He's taken the Untamed Beasts here because they're 20 points cheaper than the Ungol Raiders.
Yeah, they're just better.
And
This is the first time I've seen a Wildfire Taurus in a long time.
it's so expensive. It is good, but it's so expensive. Yeah,
110 points. Is that the most expensive endless spell?
I think it is. I mean, it's very good. It does D6 mortal wounds. It makes you go last. So, actually, is that still what it does? I can't remember. I might have to look
I
it
think
up.
so. And it goes in twice, doesn't it, in hero phases of both players. But yeah,
I think they might have changed
we've
what it
jumped ahead
does. Yeah.
we've jumped ahead a bit, but we have got all the other things you'd expect. We've got Grashak, you've got that Demon Prince that's popped up in all of them, the Beast of Chaos list so far. Got the Doom Ball, which is the first Doom Ball I think we've seen, and he's gone for the Wizard Doom Ball. He's got both the Master of Magic and the Arcane Tome, the Shaggoth, and then Bulgors instead of Dragon Ogres, and then those weird things that we've already talked about. Another Gorgon. So
Gary the Gorgon.
a
Yeah.
bit of a mix, but also a bit of the same. So I'm just looking forward to see how Beasts of Chaos turn out in general with all of their stats across all the different lists here. So
Yeah,
waiting with
I'm just
bated
going to
breath
get the
to see how
Wildfire
they go.
Taurus up because I want to...
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So it has changed. So now it does D3 mortal wounds, and then the strike last effect applies to a unit that within 3 inches of it. So it doesn't necessarily have to have like passed over you to get the always strikes last thing.
What's the move? How far does it move?
Set
So
up
it's got like
set up wholly within 6 and it moves 12. So it's kind of got like
so
21 inch
15
range. Yeah.
inches, 15 inches from the movement of where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well, fights last are always good with MSU, which is what the Beast of Chaos have got. And I think better. I think that's better than the Mind Stealer Sphinx, to be honest. The Taurus. Rather have.
Oh, definitely. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
We got another
Nurgle
notable
with-
list.
All of the Plague Bearers.
And a sneaky ally here. Have you spotted the sneaky ally? I had a little chuckle to myself about this on Saturday. You spotted him, Luke?
Oh. Oh, blood wrath.
What a
I
legend.
don't know. I don't know what that is. There you go.
Look, he
Blood
dies and then he
wrath.
comes back somewhere. So
And then summons blood letters, but he doesn't because he's not in Gorn.
no, it's just annoying. He's just a little fly. That's what he is. Yep.
But he could have had real flies in this list, Stuart. He doesn't.
He could have, but instead what he's done, Luke, is he's gone for basically like the absolute nightmare of Sloppity Bile Piper locking in with like 3 units of 20 Plague Bearers and Sloppity Bile Piper. So this list doesn't do any damage, but it's
You don't
like,
do anything either.
oh man, it's like really annoying if you're playing certain armies. Like you don't want to play Beasts of Chaos into this where like your whole army's 1 inch reach and your Bulgors are just sitting there like, you know, having an afternoon chat with some Plague Bearers because you can't hit them. It's
Stuart, do you remember way back when we played a game in AOS2 of you were running 60 Plague Bearers and Sloppity, and I was running like 90 Volkite
Yes.
Berserkers on a 2-up save,
yes.
and we just did like 3 damage across the whole game to each other.
Yep.
This
I
is,
remember
this
that.
is the sort of game that this guy's trying to project onto people here, because this is a very weird list the way that it plays, but it plays by not playing the game, doesn't it? It says you can't pile in, do no damage. I have more bodies on the objective than you. Can I take my points and win, please? But it doesn't play traditionally at all. I think some players are going to have a hard time getting their head round the way this plays, but it's not fun. It's anything but fun.
It's not. I don't think it's particularly fun to play with either, to be honest. But it's strong. Like he gets a lot of summoning here with he's got 3 trees, and then you can get the Nurglings in as well. So big summoning. And yeah, it's just a denial list, isn't it? But
It's a denial list, yeah.
it's slow and grindy and long. It's gonna be long games. Yep.
It's not
okay.
filling me with joy, I'll put it that way.
No. We have Stormcast. I think this is the only person running Krondus. So, you're a legend.
Yep. Historically, the better of the two, though, isn't he?
Oh, definitely. Definitely better than Special K.
Oh, no, special guy.
This is... Yeah, so he's gone Hallowed Knights, right? So you get the 5-up ward from Gardas. So that actually makes a huge difference with the big dragon.
Huge.
Very
Yeah.
good. Okay, and then he's
And
got
they
the
can
usual
kinda sit at
Relictor
the
in
back
there.
Together, can't they? Well, in fact, everything's going to be sitting at the back because he hasn't got any forward-moving units in
No.
terms of dragons and fulminators. He's got Krondys, Gardas, the Relictor, some battle line, and 6 raptors.
Yep.
So this is a castle army that shoots and zaps you.
You can get the Raptors basically up to Ren 3 with Krondus' spell, which is actually not bad, to be honest.
That's a good combo. I like that. Is it worth 1,000 points? Probably not, but it's good.
It's got the Pikachu combo.
Pikachu combo.
What's the Pikachu combo?
What?
Teleport the dragon, Thundershock everyone, -1 to wound.
Okay.
Why is that Pikachu?
Because it's Thundershock.
Thunderbolt.
Yep. But he's
Interesting.
600 points, isn't he?
Interesting.
Look, I think
He
with the
is.
5-up ward, he's a lot better, to be fair.
Oh, for sure. Because the problem was it was just squishy. But I mean, what doesn't the 5-up ward make better, Stuart?
Yep.
Realistically. Gardas is
Isn't he 140 points now? I feel like that's the old cost. Or maybe he used to be 160. I'm gonna check that. I could have sworn he went down to 140.
he went down. We know he went down because it was an absolute joke.
I love that he went down 10 points. It's just hilarious. I guess they just didn't
And
sell enough. He is 150 now. There must have been 160.
okay, I like all this being in a one drop though. When you're playing a shooty castle, this being a one drop is pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder if he's got like enough board presence.
I don't think he does, but he does a lot. He should do a lot.
All right. We
Marathi
got
bow snakes.
Little Marathi, Ready
Yeah.
Marathi and the Bow Snakes.
Oh, this is Little Marathi.
Yeah, yeah,
Helena, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, what team's this? Some big apples.
yeah,
Oh, okay, it's the Americans.
yeah. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Um,
Team America, isn't it? Just
I think basically,
full
yeah,
team. Yeah. Interesting this so far. Maybe they're just trying out some fun stuff. But this is definitely a serious list. What Little Marathi's bringing here, isn't it?
yep. I can't say I've really seen anyone run the Hag Queen before. But to get real wounds on the Shadow Queen is pretty handy. Yeah. And other than that, it's pretty standard. The Life Takers are in there instead of the Shadow Stonkers.
Yeah.
Just because of points reasons. And she's also gone the Iron Scale instead of the Bloodrack Medusa.
She still has those 10 Blood Sisters, the stabby ones as well. So another medium-sized punchy threat. So you've got the Marathi, you've got the Bow Snakes, and then you've got the Blood Sisters to do. Obviously not as much work, but still be a threat in themselves. Because 10 Blood Sisters does okay, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yep. Okay.
Right. Soul Blight, with Belladama, Manfred, Radikar, Vampire Lord, and Zombie Dragon, some zombies, some direwolves, and 20 Graveguard. So his whole army is 20 Graveguard with buffs, Stuart?
Well, he's got the Zombie Dragon in there as well. So that's the other
And
threat.
the Zombie Dragon.
And Manfred does like decent work. But yeah,
But all of this is buffing the Graveguard, isn't it? That's a lot of things focused into that Graveguard unit.
Well, I mean, it's all like you can all kind of buff each other a little bit.
I guess.
Yeah, I think maybe the only one thing that I would be iffy about is the Vampire Lord on foot, but
See what happens if he gets all of this off on the Graveguard and they go in.
oh man, it's
I wanna
like
see how much
100
that
damage.
is. Yeah.
He doesn't have the Necromancer. Yeah.
Oh. He's missing that out on.
I just think the Necromancer is a little bit obvious sometimes. It's like, yeah, it's just really awkward to get off.
Very good. Very good though.
It is, but like, what are the Graveguard not going to kill in the first pile-in?
I guess so. Yeah, but the whole point is you try and get them into two things and kill two things.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Like, it's just not.
I guess so. Is it an immediate fight twice?
No.
Okay, then yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. He's gone for an additional spell and everything, which is why everything's got spell, which is interesting because is he in Vycross to get all the cast rerolls?
Yeah, there's just not really any good other artifacts other than the plus D3 attacks on the the Vlozzed. Yeah, so
Let's go double battle edge.
I don't think he can he? Oh no, he can.
Yeah, he's got six heroes, two of them big.
Well, he wants to go hunters with the Graveguard. That's the reason why. Because otherwise you
I
can't
guess so.
use the command abilities on him.
Yeah, he's got a decent triumph bid as well at 1950, so he's going to get the +1 to wound on those Graveguard when they need it.
I think he's gone reroll charge. He always gets the
He's
+1
gone
to
reroll
wound anyway.
charges.
You get +1 to wound
'cause
anyway
of-
from like
'cause
Manfred,
of
and then
Manfred.
also Vrykos gets it. So.
Oh, he's gone for reroll charge. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Cool. How much damage can Graveguard do? The list. I like it.
Okay, so that's it. So Iron Jaws, Beast of
was
Chaos,
interesting.
Maggotkin, Hallowed Knights, Doc, and then the Soulblight Gravelords.
Definitely some interesting ones. Still some power, but in some.
Yeah,
unusual forms, I think.
some quirks in
Yeah.
there, I think. Okay,
Definitely.
we got Team Australia.
Right, so these guys have got some big lists from what I remember going through, and we've got some big players in there. So we've got Chris Welfare, With his Legion of the Night, we've got Gorslav, the Necromancer. Just the two. And Nagash. I was about to say just two heroes. Lol. Nagash. And then still got a load of bodies. This is probably the most amount of crap
Yeah.
you're going to have in a Nagash list, isn't it?
Yeah, you get a lot of stuff here, and you get a lot of healing. The only thing is, it's just always that thing of like you don't really have enough points to go Spell Portal and Life Swarm, but I think you kind of need both because Nagash can't heal himself at all, and that's a problem. So, yeah, I think
Maybe,
he's gonna find that he wants the Life Swarm more than the Spell Portal, personally.
maybe one of his friends wanted the Life Swarm, Stuart, and maybe he wasn't willing to punch him in the mouth to get it.
That's possible. I just think if you're running Nagash, you need Life Swarm. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Sorry. We've got Michael Clark and Living Cities. So this is
Yep.
pretty much Philip Cartier's list, except he's got 2 units fulminators instead of 2 units.
And the
Hurricanes
Hurricane's in there as well.
And the Hurricane. Well, yeah, because the dragons are normally a bit more expensive. So instead of the dragons, he's got another unit of fulminators and a Hurricanum. Cool.
Yep. Moving on.
Yeah. This one's a bit
Matt
more
Terrell.
interesting.
Yeah, it's an
This
interesting
is
list.
kind of like Ray's list, but he's gone for double Maggot Lord instead of Glotkin, hasn't he?
Yeah, and the key part here is that Orgoth is also a general, so if the Lord of Afflictions wants to start off the board, you can still get the command points. That's like a key thing. But other than that, yeah, it's 10 Pascal Blight Lords and 5 Centaurs in there. Yeah, it's similar. I think there was another list as well, aside from Ray's list, that was spamming the Pascal Blight Lords in Drowned Men.
I think they're just one of they're a cool unit that people seem to be focusing on, aren't they? Like that sort of super elite heavy cavalry. It's obviously in fashion at the moment. Why not make them pussy men on flies? And they're not bad war scrolls, are they? They're not bad.
Yeah, personally, I think Bloab kind of warrants Epidemius, but he doesn't have any other
I think
wizards, so I get it.
Epidemius is very good.
Mm.
I mean, it always upsets me that Morbedex, whatever his name is, Twice Born, is not being represented in any of the Maggot Lords, because healing half your wounds is just funny. But I think for this list, he's got the right combo of Maggot Lords, doesn't he? Blow up and all gods.
I really like Morbedex, but I have to admit I haven't actually ever really used him. Like because he just doesn't he doesn't really go anywhere because yeah, he basically costs 3 Blight Lords, and I'm not really sure he's worth that, to be honest. I also don't. Maybe the other ones are not worth that either, is something I've been thinking. But
no,
yeah.
I've always thought that they're super good value because they're basically just Stonehorns.
Well, they are, but the Blight Lords, the thing is with Nurgle, like, units that have more attacks are just a lot more valuable. So the Maggot Lords maybe look better on paper than they actually are, but the units that have like a lot of attacks, like the Pascal Blight Lords or the Flyers or stuff like, I think those are the main 2 ones that have lots of attacks, that can get you a lot of disease, are really valuable. Even though they might look, they have like no rend on paper and stuff like that, but getting the disease is what you want to do. And this Lord of Afflictions with the no command point thing is like the most annoying thing to play against in the world. It's so good.
4 upward, yeah.
Yeah.
So that guy's horrible.
The no command points thing is awesome. It's very good. Yep.
Another strong list. Like this is still strong.
Oh, it's very good.
Really
Yep.
Yeah, this is still really good.
The only thing that I would be concerned about is he doesn't have the locus of fecundity anywhere here, the D3 heal. But I'm not really sure what you'd put in if you're not going to run a Guo that's going to give you that.
I don't mind that. Like a third of the time, it's just 1 anyway. So if you're a pessimist, you don't need it. Right, have we got another strong list coming up on the horizon? I think, Stu.
Oh yeah.
This is where the dragons were.
I think this is the one. This is like the.
Yeah, this is the Stormcast.
This is the 5/0 Stormcast list, I think. So, Hallowed Knights with the 5 up ward, and then Castellan to give you the +1 save on your Storm Drakes, and then the Relictor with usual can't be shot to it rerollable teleport. 3 units of Vindictors, and then the long strikes with the double shoot and the Force Torn Dread Guard. Yep. It's good.
Yeah, it's more than good. This is top dog, I think.
Yep. All right. We got another KO list. I think similar to Luke's. But
yeah, we've got double line clouded, but he's got Vortex in this one, which Luke didn't have, did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we feel about Vortex these days? Wipe? What's it called? Warp Lightning Vortex. Gonna wipe some ass with it, but what's he gonna do? How does it work these days? The Alpha Beast pack.
Well, I mean, your opponent's kind of gonna get the choice, but he's 3 drops, so that's a nice sweet spot. So all the people going Command Entourage and the Battle Regiment, you're gonna outdrop. So if you outdrop them, if you outdrop them with 2 Ironclads that you can get in range, and then the Warp Lightning Vortex is pretty horrific turn 1.
That's a lot of damage, yeah. And he's got 10 Thunderers in one of those Ironclads too.
Yeah, in my opinion, he should probably be Barrack 3ing. But you can't really do that with Spell in a Bottle, so that's why he didn't do that. Yeah.
Gone for the old no. Yeah, he's gone for Collector command trait, so he's gone for no. Gone for his own.
We probably need to get him to
Type
put it
4.
on the list. Probably need to get in touch
but-
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he needs his to work out what his 3 footnotes are. So I imagine he's gone for the reroll 1 grudge thing. He's gone for the once per game run and shoot probably. But yeah, he needs to put those in.
Yeah.
Because you get to choose 3 of your own, don't you?
Okay.
Another nasty list. Another Monster Mass version of the Thunder Lizard. This has been people's alternative Seraphon of choice by the looks of it. Mass Stegodons. All monsters. Is this because it's fun, or is it because it's still really good?
I think it's good. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to make Luke. You didn't mean me to swap Fabian's list, did you? Because we needed like a list swap. Which one did you mean?
What you saying?
Oh, I'm talking to Morton. Is he? I don't know. So I had to swap one of the lists before this, but maybe I think this is the right one. I think it's okay. But yeah, basically 5 Stegs in the Basti, right? But there's not a lot of bodies going on here. Yeah.
No. But they are 5 each on an objective, so that's obviously what he's going for. And I think you're crowding like 3 or 4 together, aren't you? You're going around as a sort of wrecking ball when you're playing like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some very strong lists here coming from Team Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're one to watch. The lists are hard as nails. I kind of feel like maybe a little bit that the Legion of the First Prince Chaos stuff is missing a little bit. Like maybe the Nagash could be that. But maybe no one plays it.
But these are their flavours, aren't they? Because they have still. All the players here play these lists, don't they? They know what they're doing with them, so it should be good. Should be good for them, I reckon.
Yep. All right. Okay.
Beat down another seasoned team. We see these guys in a lot of team tournaments being put on TTS, and they always tend to do pretty well. These guys. So Paul is obviously bringing his Ideneth like he always does. Again, we're using the old War Scrolls and the old point costs and things. I like how he's costing them in dollars instead of points. I like that.
I think that's for the Battle Regiment, I think.
Triple Turtle Stew.
Yeah.
Actually, not that bad because I really like the Turtle War Scroll.
I think it's pretty good.
Decent combat monster for the points.
Yeah, you just don't want to play it into like hordes and stuff. It's more of like a elite killer kind of thing. Yeah.
Opener with its rend and its damage 4. Damage 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gone for 1 unit of Reavers and 2 units of Thralls. Aether Wings, which you always see as a top choice for allies, so they get the good thing to eat an only shell, aren't they? Because
Also, they kind of count for the, you can't shoot the,
yeah,
you can
can't
only
shoot
shoot the
the
closest
stuff.
unit thing, so that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
Shoot some Aether Wings instead of shooting the turtles, which is good. Um, I think this can do okay. Do you just group all the turtles up and just go in at once? I think it's pretty simple in its play style, isn't it?
Possibly. I don't know if they can get there. I don't think it's really a turn. It could be a turn 1 thing with the flip tides. I'm not really sure. No. You can alpha. You probably don't though.
He's Alpha Beast Pack, Stuart. He's getting in no problem. Even with all those sixes.
It's D6 move, isn't it? It's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, veto.
Got
Yeah.
Vito with a pretty darn good Seraphon list, Thunder Lizard, but this time he's gone for Croak, Engine, and Carnosaur. Oh, and
He's also
Gotrek.
and Gotrek. Yeah.
Yeah, and Gotrek.
So he hasn't got like the
Carnosaur.
salamanders or that other shooting threat. Instead, he's got Gotrek in here.
Just the Basti. Yeah. Gotrek. I've always, well, whenever I talk about Gotrek, I see him as something that sort of mops up and punishes newer players. But I think experienced players can sort of avoid him quite well. And I'd imagine in this tournament, a lot of people are going to sort of have the tools or the knowledge as to how to deal with Gotrek. So I feel like he could be wasted points.
I don't know though. In the right matchup, he's really good.
Okay. Some things can't deal with him, some things just simply can't kill him. They don't have the right type of damage to be able to bring him down. And then he sits on an objective and it's his, and it sort of says you can't come here, otherwise I kill you. That's always seems to be how the Gotrek games that I've played, both playing with him and playing against him, sort of go. I don't mind that with the Seraphon though, because you've got the power projection from Croak and the Bastillodon that you can kind of afford to have Gotrek just sat on his corner yelling at people and funnel them towards the Carnosaur, Stuart, that's gonna come and rip their heads off at 215 points. How, I don't know. He's still 215 points, but there he is.
Yep.
No red though is the only issue he has.
Yeah, he's still fail. His damage is still sometimes a bit underwhelming if your opponent rolls well on the saves. I think.
Fail your saves, you're getting hit hard.
Okay, and then we got Legion of the First Prince. Buckets, yeah.
Legion. Plague Bearers instead of loads of pinks. But he's got the normal Be'lakor, Kairos, and the Demon Prince. But he's got Sinessa in there. What do we think Sinessa, the Sinesh woman's doing in this list?
Well, you got the whole spell lore, but she can only cast one spell, which I always find funny. But yeah, she gives you some like long range damage.
Yeah, mortal wound range, isn't it?
Yeah, versus other heroes.
To combine with Kairos, I guess. Because he's got the spell portal. So
yeah, and Slothful Stupor is always good as well. The spell that basically stops your opponent from, I think it's like charging and using command abilities on the hero. So that's a really good spell. It's just often hard to get off because she doesn't have any bonuses to cast, and something else is going to have to cast this. No, because it's not a War Scroll spell. So yeah, yep. But other than that, pretty standard. Yeah.
He's got the Life Swarm and the spell portal, and Palisades always boggles me, but people are still determined to take it.
It's just a block, I think, but I think it's probably just a bit expensive. I would just take Burning Head.
Yeah. Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah.
An old school Archaon list, Stuart. Archaon and the Varangard are back.
Yeah. The only change here in recent times is that Archaon now has War Master in Slaves to Darkness, so you can actually give the Chaos Sorcerer Lord a command trait, which is Master of Magic, obviously, so you can reroll the good spell. And then other than that, it's pretty standard. It's all gotten a bit more expensive. Like the War Shrine at 215 is pretty expensive now, I have to say.
Rough though, isn't it? And it's still a piece in its own right. It's still relatively chunky, relatively tanky, and can do more than you'd expect in combat, especially if it buffs itself in a time of need. It can go in. I don't mind the War Shrine.
Okay, and then we got another Nighthaunt list. So this one is not Nagash. Okay, I think this is the only non-Nagash one. And he's got 6 heroes with double Warlord and a Morngul and the Mortalis Terminexus. And he's also got 30 Chain Rasps, 20 Chain Rasps, 10 Red Chain Rasps, 10 Harridans, and 2 Chain Gusts. Yep.
So when we do a list review show, I go, the Mortalis Terminexus, is it good? You go, yeah, Luke, it's really good. I'm yet to
It's
see it
not
do
actually.
anything
I
good.
read it again, and I think they fixed it from when it first came out and it double taps. I don't believe it double taps anymore, so possibly
Just
not that
wind,
good.
isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
And apparently not that many. Right. We must address the Mongol, Stuart. The 300-point Mongol. What's he doing? Is he good?
No.
Why is the answer no? Yeah.
It's too expensive. It's just way too expensive for 300 points compared
Is
to
he
other
plus
things in the game.
-1 to hit in an
Yes.
aura, right?
But he used to be 3 up ethereal. Now he's 4 up ethereal. I think he also used to have a shrug. He doesn't have that anymore, I don't think. So
Not even a 6-up?
he gets a 6 up, but he used to have a 5 up. He used to be like, I think, 3 up ethereal with a 5 up shrug.
Great.
Which
That's
is really
fucking
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
Now
like
he's not that.
90 points cheaper. But yeah, he's not that anymore. He's gotten nerfed a lot. People have gotten stronger, so. But you want something for Monsters Takeover, so that's probably why he's in there.
Yeah, this is a pretty old school Nighthaunt list, isn't it? This is
It is. Yep.
what we're seeing, and again, I think people are looking to Nagash to be the answer to make Nighthaunt super strong again, and see if Jason can make the old school stuff work with a Mongol. Ooh. I hope he does.
Best of luck. Okay. And then we got a cities list. A little bit different to the other ones we've seen so far. Like we got some handgunners here, which you almost never see, but he really wants you to use those to clear the screens. And then he's got like the Goon Squad, which is 2 Phoenixes, the 4 Stormdrake Guard, and he's not in Living Cities. He's in Tempest size, so you're getting the +3 inch move, turn 1, and +1 to save. So this is something that's definitely gonna just like come at you, just with everything.
Yeah, so it's very much free guild handgunner, shoot the screen off. You go because you get the +3 movement twice when your hero phase move them. Don't
Yes,
they, in turn
yes.
one for the Stormdrake Guard.
So they move 30 inches, and then
like
charge.
the clappers. Yeah, they're going in, and then the Phoenixes, both of them are still just great heroes. I think they're really good monsters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a cool list. It's not what we've seen so far, but it definitely has an angle to it. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, we are sort of seeing with the Stormcast stuff in cities that it's Living City where the Fulminators go and Tempest Eye where the dragons go, isn't it? So I like seeing a Tempest Eye list. I think it's just I like seeing it over a Living Cities list. So sure. How do we feel about this team beatdown, Stuart? Some cool lists in here, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of like kind of fairly old school stuff, I'd say. Kind of got like the old STD
Pretty
that
old
people
school.
don't really play anymore. But it's still strong. But yeah, maybe just not like shooting meta oriented. And then Nighthaunt, and then Tempest Eye with like a slightly different style list. And then the triple Leviathan. We've got some interesting lists in here. Yeah. It'd be fun to do the matchups for this team, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're pretty pair well. Like I can see the lists having their matchups they want to avoid and matchups they want to get. So it'd be interesting to see. Right, Stuart, we're cracking on with these. 13 teams in. Have we got Team Dim?
I believe this is one of the Spanish teams. I think there's 2 that are like I don't know if they're Team
These guys
Spain
are
proxies.
Spanish.
Yeah, these guys are the Spanish ones, I think. Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I remember, Team Dim have been Spanish in the past. Whether they've changed that, I do not know. but we've got an IGNF list kicking it off, Stuart.
I just
Quite
want
an
to say,
interesting
this
one.
guy's going for just the absolute baller of the grand strategy, Vendetta.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that Kill the Heroes?
I think that's Kill the Heroes.
No. Is that not pick one hit?
Oh
Pick your
no.
general and your opponent's
Yeah,
general.
you're
Make
right.
sure your
Yeah.
general's alive. Yeah, which is
So
just complex. And his general is the Tidecaster.
that's why I said it was baller. It's confidence. I like
Yes.
it.
It's I don't need these 3 points to win the game, you little shit. Isn't it? I like it. Have them. But he's got 2 Eidolons, which is another power play, I think.
Yep.
I don't know how well they stack. I
Oh,
think you
they
get some diminishing returns on
you
them, but they're
you
still great little units.
you do, but they're still good. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the Celestant Prime, sure.
Yep.
Some Battle Line and a Turtle. It's 4 guys. That's what it is.
Yep. Ah, this is a funky
Ooh,
list. I like it. This is
this is
definitely jazz. This list, I reckon. You know, we've departed
Yeah,
from the classical sharks and eidolon and turtle. We've just gone like full like.
yeah. It's in a really weird time signature, and you think, oh, I can't quite. Is this music? You know, is this a list? But here we are.
It's in
It's
13,
jazz.
16. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I like it. So, I'll be interested to see how that one goes. What else have we got in Team Dim?
Another Soul Black Gravelords list. Uh,
Necromancer Belladama. We're seeing quite a lot of Belladama, I think, combined with Radikur. So this is all trying to buff the Graveguard, except he's only got 2 units of 10 Graveguard rather than a unit of 20. I'd like to see a unit of 20, I think, if you're going for those buffs.
yep. I don't like the spell portal. I think that's throwing money after bad with Volga, but
Oh, right. Really? Oh, blimey.
yeah. But there's other things you can do with it as well. Like I think
Yes, no
Decrepify
one else
through the
wanted
spell
it.
portal is really good. I like Decrepify through the spell portal. I think that's
Oh,
good.
Decrepify is great. Great spell.
Yep.
He's got Arcane Tome on the Necro, so he's got two casts, so he can do that. He can do the combo. 40 zombies, solid. Don't have any problem with 40 zombies. 10 direwolves, good screen. 30 skeletons this time, so he's trying to get the Van Hells on those. So they're pretty much unkillable if you don't kill them all in one go, aren't they? Those Death Rattle skeletons. So
Yeah, I just think versus a
you.
good player, it's really hard to pull off. That's what I'm starting to think. I wonder if they're worth it personally.
I agree. I mean, Nikita. These are what Nikita took out of his list, isn't it? It was the skeletons and put in some Felbats. So Felbats better than skeletons is what Nikita thinks.
He didn't. He put in
But
zombies.
I know. But yeah, that's another interesting one. It's kind of like what you'd expect and a little bit of unexpected. More jazz.
Yep. Got a Lumineth list. This one is not techless, and it's not really foxes. He's just got the one fox in there.
Seeker and Rune of Petrification, though.
Yes.
Big
Yes.
fan. I mean, well, not a fan. It's horrible, but that's good.
It's very good. Yeah.
It's very strong. So what does that do, Stuart? What's that little combo?
Well, Rune of Petrifaction is basically like I don't know, like home brand Warp Lightning Vortex, something like that.
Yeah.
Very similar abilities. I think it's like -1 run and charge or something, and then it does like pulsating mortal wounds in the same way. So like when you cast it, and then at the end of the movement phase. So it is quite expensive, and it's hard to get off. But if you can, it's quite annoying to deal with. And what I like about this list is he's got a lot of bodies. So he's got 50 Wardens and 30 Sentinels. So a lot more bodies than we normally see.
That's where the Lumineth normally fall down, right? Is the objective play, and he's hoping to sort of shore that up. No Dawn Riders, so speed might be a bit of an issue for him, although he does have the one Fox and the Reader Hish, so those Wardens can go 10 inches, 12 inches if they get the spell off.
Yeah.
The Law Seeker is going to be in place where he needs it to be anyway, because it's a Law Seeker on an objective. So, yeah, I can see this. I don't hate this at all. I think this is cool.
Yeah. Okay. Another Seraphon list. With
Yeah,
Gotrek.
Oh, just Gotrek instead of
Yep.
Croxagore. Well, he went wrong there, but again, I think the what I said about Croxagore, about Gotrek, sorry, is the same here. He'll work in some situations, but I like what he's done with the engine, the Basti, and the Salamanders. I like those three. I think they're the correct 3 biggies to have.
I like the Chief. I kind of want to see the Chief in there, but
I prefer the engine over the Chief.
well, you
I
could
like
go
the
the
wheel.
engine. You could go the engine, the Chief without Godric. I think that's probably
Oh,
what
yeah,
you do,
that'd be
but-
better. Or 6 clocks ago. Just do it. Again, this is going to play very similarly to the other Thunder.
yeah, I
because
think
Thunder Lizard's
we've
probably the
mostly
most-
talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we know what this does, and it's in a 1-drop, so it's a very, very strong list.
Okay.
Nurgle spam.
Yes, with Beast of Nurgle
With
and
Horticulus.
Horticulus in Befouling Host. Yeah, I think we haven't actually seen this particular version yet.
It's quite strong, isn't it?
It is quite strong. Yeah, the only
So
thing.
it gets a lot of summoning points, doesn't it? This one.
Yeah, the only thing is that's missing for me. I think it probably you'd probably want 20 Plague Bearers, so I'd probably drop the Puskoils and the Beast of Nurgle for.
Yeah, do you need those? Because they're kind of similar units, aren't they? The Nurgle.
Yeah,
And the Blightwood.
and if you're running Fleshy Abundance, I think you probably take the Plague Bearers. But other than that,
Get
pretty
that
standard.
value wound. Yeah.
Lots of people
the
running
Beast
this.
of Nurgles will always surprise people. I think if you haven't played against the Beast of Nurgles, because they're quite small, little unassuming unit, but it's tankier than it looks. It does more damage than it looks. It bounces around and retreats and runs and charges. Does mortals everywhere. They just poop out mortals, don't they? Those Beasts of Nurgle with the charge damage and the disease.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of them, and Horticulus buffs them up quite well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it gives them +1 to hit and reroll charges. Yep. Okay.
We got one more list with these guys. I think it's an Orc list by the looks
Yeah.
of it.
I think he
It's
played
the Orc
similar
list.
thing in the release the Beast singles tournament. So Double Crusher, 3 War Chanters, 4 units of pigs.
This is the cookie cutter Orc list, yeah.
Yeah, just
go
the
wrong
only
with this.
difference is the War Chanter
Instead of the
extra war.
spell, yeah.
Yeah, instead of the spell. Yeah.
I don't even mind that because at least the War Chanter is guaranteed to do what he does. I'd be tempted though if he's gone for 3 War Chanters to make have 3 units of pigs and one of them be a unit of 6 to get an extra value out of that 3rd War Chanter.
Yeah, I don't like the
Give
6
it-
pigs personally, but they're a bit
In terms
awkward to
of just
play with.
coherency.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a bit awkward to play with, I think.
Well, to be honest, 3 pigs with War Chanter buff still does obscene amounts. So
Yep. He's got the big red button with the destroyer.
yeah, I
Always
love
a
that.
fan.
It's always fun. Both, yeah, and the armor of Gork, which is a 6-up ward, which is quite nice.
Yeah, it also gives you
And
+1 to hit.
It makes him slow. Makes him slow as well. So he hasn't gone fast on that one.
No.
He hasn't got a mount trait on these either. Maybe there's
Yes, he
something with
does.
the mount traits.
It's here on this one.
Oh, that one. He's put it on that one.
It's on the destroyer,
Okay.
yeah. Because the destroyer, you wanna send him in as quick as possible and click your
Press
button.
the button. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yep.
cool list out of these guys, Stu.
I think so.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
The only problem, shame about the Seraphon list, but there you go.
Okay. Team not in the face. Which I think is hilarious.
Correct. Seraphon list.
Yes, with the 6 Croxagore. Yep.
It's a Tavi list. Yeah, it's the Tavi list.
We doesn't have 12,
In fact, it is.
but
No. Tavi has said that the 2 is too much. 1 unit of 6, 1 unit of Sally's, and I think that's correct.
yeah.
Yeah, this is.
But he's got Horrorghast
what
in
I'd
there,
run.
so
So
that's a different.
65 points. It pisses me off how much Seraphon can just flex. But like, here's the shit I don't need. You know, I hate that.
Yep. I
kinda good
will
with
say
that.
it's interesting, Luke, to see that we haven't actually seen an Astrolith bearer yet.
No, I think he's fallen out of favour a bit, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't think anyone's bringing him anymore. It's a bit
Just 'cause he's
expensive.
points.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very expensive. And also, you get
Yeah.
the 6-up shrug now from any terrain that's on your side of the board. So,
That's probably honestly what pushed him away.
Yeah.
Realise what that rule does. Yeah.
so
It's actually a really strong rule. It's just quite. This is the other allegiance ability you get from being Thunder Lizard that no one realizes because it's not completely obnoxious.
well,
like
they
bonus
they
damage
changed
to
it
the
in
whole
White
army.
Dwarf at the start of the year. That's why.
So you get all of your terrain is mystical and all your opponent's terrain on in terms of half of the board is deadly or something like that, isn't it?
Well, the terrain on your side of the board is mystical for you and deadly for your opponent. It's basically how it works.
That's right. That's right. So you're getting your 6-up ward from terrain, and you don't really need the pluses to spell range, and you don't need the all of that sort of stuff. So this is just as conditioned and fine-tuned as I think you can get. I think you get a little bit of everything with this list, and in the right amounts. And I think the strength of the Seraphon is that you don't have to spam something for it to be strong. You can have threats of different ranges, different rend, different outputs, in different phases, and that's where the strengths are. Obviously, you've got your melee output with your Croxigor, you've got your rend 2 and your mortals with the salamanders, and you've got your longer range rend 1 with your Bastillon. Having that different types of damage to address different threats is, I think, the strength of the Seraphon list, to be honest with you.
Yep. For sure.
Very
Okay.
powerful. What's next?
We have another
Ogres.
ogres list. Yeah. With big old
The
Krago.
Kragnos. Yeah, it's the first Kragnos.
Yep, Kragnos, 3 Stonehorns, and some Mornfang. Tremendous.
86 charging ogre stuff.
Also, this is not 1 drop. I don't know why it says 1 drop, because it's not. It's 2 drop.
Definitely not, is it? It's 2 drop.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Boswell, you
Go
chicken
forward
wings,
and
that
smash.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that, mate.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very mono brain, isn't it? Very smooth brain list. Just go forward and hit things.
Yeah, I think.
I think it'll do well though. I think it's good.
I think it'll be decent versus Seraphon. I think he might find Kragnos does. Yeah, I don't know. I've just found in ogres that Kragnos just does way too much damage to your own army personally, but
Screaming, yeah.
yeah, just with the shouting. I played him the other day. I think he killed like 7 Iron Guts just by yelling. It's obnoxious.
He does anti-synergy a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Get him close to get the aura, but if you're close, you get yelled at. It's not great for a 720-point model. I don't know why he needs that yell.
Just get rid of the yell.
Yeah, no one wants it.
Okay. We have another one of the
Alright.
foxes. I think this is pretty much the
Yep,
same
this
as the
is-
other one.
Yeah, except he's got the Law Seeker this time.
Yep, and
Which I
not
think
the
is-
not the Lord Regent. So
I think.
yeah.
Do I prefer the Law Seeker or the Lord Regent? I think they both have their merits, but yeah, still strong. 30 Sentinels is still a lot of points now, but it's just going to be a whole lot of fun for some people, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the foxes in the team format are really strong, and it's good for them to have this option in the
The
matchups.
biggest spankings, which is I think it's going to be like, I cannot win, but might as well shake your hand at the
Yeah,
brilliant sort of.
yeah, I think there's a
sort
lot
of
of those
feeling.
games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Th-
we have
this
another
list
one of
again?
these.
Yeah.
I think we've seen exactly the same list before.
Yep.
Okay. We have another
This list
Soul Black
again.
Gravelords. Yeah, this list again. He's got Radikar the Beast though. That's the only slight.
The other guy had Radagar.
I think some of them
What,
there was
Renegade, Renegade
Radikar the
Gravelord.
Wolf in some of them.
Oh, the wolf. I beg your pardon.
The
Stuart.
Wolf. And he's got a big unit of 60 zombies here.
Yeah. I
Yep.
played against this list, and it's fun because if the Graveguard don't do what they do or get killed or whatever, then you try and turn all the buffs onto the zombies instead and try and roll 6s. It's
Yep.
gonna be fun.
Yep. Okay. Right, and then we have.
Lots of dragons.
I think this is maybe the first actual dragon
Full
list.
dragon.
Yeah.
Full dragons. I think now that we've seen it enough, it's safe to say that the Vanguard Raptor plus the dragon is probably slightly stronger than the mono dragon list, don't you think? It's-
I still think
Or
they're
do you
both
think this
good.
is
I
stronger?
think they're both
Do you
good.
think they're both
Yeah.
the same sort of power level?
I think they just have slightly different matchups. If you're playing versus the Horde stuff, the Raptors are worse than the Dragons, I think. Yeah.
Well, this is the list I want to face, Stuart. This is what I want to try and take down. I want to
Oh,
fuck it up.
we'll get to your list, Luke. But what do you think about that team overall?
Some good lists in there.
Yeah.
Led by Wilhelm, so there's some good lists in there. Definitely some filth. I will say it's a lot of what we've seen before. Not super 10 out of 10 points for originality, but I think the strength is definitely there.
Yeah. Okay. So we have Team TO, which I'm not in, but Luke is in. And the reason I've changed it to Chaos Mixed is that you guys are all running Chaos, right?
All chaos, Stuart. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to run trees.
So Luke, as a result, Luke has had the unfortunate task of playing Skaven.
Really looking forward to it.
So yeah, after his
Now-
miscasting experiences last game, he's decided to put all his stock in one spell again.
But I've got it 3 times on the same wizard copied 3 times, Stuart. So it
That's
can't
true.
go wrong.
That's true.
Right, so Skaven, you haven't seen him in a long time. That's because they're dog shit. What we got is we've got 3 lots of bombardier,
Yeah.
60 clan rats, storm friends with the correct
Weapons. Yeah.
setup. We've got the fart launchers, the rattling cannons, and the doom flayers, and 3 warp lightning cannons. Now, this could have been 4 play core catapults, but Stuart said no.
They're awful.
That's
So
really bad. Play the game and it's just bad. So this is trying to do similar sort of things. You got the screens. It's great. You put them all in a line because they're on 25mm bases. You string them out real big. You have 6 Storm Fiends behind them, doing stuff. If you get the spell off, they do a lot. If you don't, they do okay. I've tried to mitigate that as much as possible with my command trait, which means I can reroll hits if I get the spell, if the spell doesn't go off, and Vigorous Injector for +1 to hit and +1 to charge. So that works really well against anything that's -1 to hit, because you can just put all out attack on top of that, which works really well, and it will save you the command point. And then 3 casino cannons. I haven't played this list yet. This is untested. So
We'll see how it goes.
come at me, guys. Come at me. I'll take anything on with this, apart from stuff that shoots or controls or plays objectives. Anything else, I'm coming for you.
Okay, and then we
You
got
can play.
we got Alan
Hacky
with
list.
he's running triple Maggot Lord, and then a Lord of Plagues and Festus, and then 3 units of 5 Blight Kings. So a little bit different to what we've
Out
seen so
there.
far. The first Blight Kings we've
Yeah.
seen so far, but I like
A
this
lot
list.
of points. A lot of points, aren't they?
Yeah,
Kings.
they're quite expensive.
Partly, they're too much for what they are, but they're still fine. Like they got what they needed. They got loads of attacks and they got rend, great, but they just went up too many points, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they're probably like maybe 10, 20 points overcosted. It's not like a huge amount, but just a little bit, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Still cool though. Our man Hippie has been tasked with the Beast of Chaos.
Oh, man,
and he's gone for double cock.
The 4 units of Warhounds get me every time. It's so funny. They're so bad.
So not
tragic.
only have we given ourselves the challenge of playing all chaos, and factions that you haven't seen in a while, we've gone for shit versions of the shit stuff. I think Tabby said that if you lose the team versus team matchup versus us, you're banned from the server because you just shouldn't. So Beast of Chaos, MSU. See how it goes. Lots
Yeah.
of Chaos Warhounds and Ungors.
3
Yeah.
battle regiments.
Yeah. 3 drop. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
He's got Doom Ball with the. What's the Dominator do? I think he's just taken that for the name, to be honest. He's gonna dominate you with a double.
No, I
pop.
think that's reroll charges, I think.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Or +1. No, it's reroll charges and all herd. Yeah. By the way, so this Blade of the Desecrator, right? It's actually worse. Yeah, I think it's on the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, it's okay, but if you take it on the Doom Ball, it's actually worse than not taking it. Because it limits you to Ren 3, so it gives you like +1 Ren per 10 models in the target unit, but it limits you to Ren 3. But the Doom Bull already has Ren 3 while the Herdstone's up, and then on Battle Round 3 he should have Ren 4. So
How's that?
it actually gives
It's a
him
nerf.
-1 Rend. from Battle Round 3. So that's why he's got it on the Shaggoth, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is great. Okay. Biggest triumph bid I've seen yet, though. 90
Oh, no.
Who needs
Huge.
another unit? Who
Huge.
needs another unit?
Okay.
He's already got 100.
And then Tavi, I apologize for the format. That's my fault.
The tongue puncher list.
Yep. He's got Mask, Chariot, 3 units of 10 archers, and then 3 sick blades, and 2 bliss barb seekers. So
Seriousness, this is the best Sinesh list.
yeah, it's not
Right
bad,
now.
is it? I like this list. It's not bad.
The mask is great. I mean, I played against Tavi with my Storm Fiends, and he tagged a whole unit of 6 of these, even though I had them all very well screened up, because that thing's a slippery little git. That thing can get in all sorts of holes and tag shit. Fly, 6-inch piling, fast, tiny base. So that can do its job. I like the Bliss Barb Archers. I think they are what a shooting unit should be. I love them. They're my favourite.
Well,
And
because
then
they're
you've got
bad.
them on Well, they consistently do like between 4 and 8 damage at range, which is fine. That's great. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
And it's a lot
they're
of dice,
okay.
so it's not too swingy. It just it's not, I don't know, Sentinels, so it's fine. And then he's trying to pin you in with these seekers here, and this is the whole what I was saying: pin you in and then backfill with summoning.
Yeah.
And he's got quite a lot of way to get the gravity. So I think this is good. And he's gone God Seekers instead of Lurid Haze or whatever it is, because the +1 charge for the summon. If you summon something in and you want to try and get it in combat, the +1 charge makes a lot of difference.
Okay, and
Pretty
then
much.
we got an actual good list because you guys wanted to win a game.
Well, Steve is going to actual,
Yeah,
Steve's
he
going
wanted to
actual
practice.
Worlds. He's
Yeah.
on Team England. He wanted to practice. We weren't
So
going to deny him that. And he gobbled up all the good spells. So we
he's
have to run
got
short lists.
everything here. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to win games, but not battles. He's going to win games, but he's going to go 0 and 5.
Oh,
so...
but he doesn't have the Demon Prince.
No, we don't have it. So we've got all chaos, and we don't have a Demon Prince.
Oh man.
Corn, because that's
Why?
the service that we would like to provide.
Gotta go the Demon Prince. Okay. And then we have perhaps the greatest list in the tournament, Luke.
My favourite list in the tournament.
This is a work of art. This is Scarbrand, a couple
Boys.
other heroes, and then 60 Blood Warriors.
What do Blood Warriors do, Stuart?
Oh my god, I can't believe they're 570 points. That's hilarious.
More than 30 Sentinels.
Look, they're 2 wounds each, I guess, but that's hilarious. Oh man, when I was putting this in, I was laughing so hard. I can't believe he's gone 60 Blood Warriors.
It's good, mate. It's gonna fuck up a lot of people.
Now, the thing is, though, like, say, if you were playing the Skaven list versus this, do you think you would win?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Scarbrand wouldn't be there, but I don't get any points. So,
Just can't kill the Blood Warriors, eh?
no.
And then they
Just
auto
not.
unbind your thingy every turn with blood tithe.
Yeah. Well, it's do the cannons casino kill Scarbrand or not, basically, and then
Yep.
yeah. So Team TO guys,
Bin.
obviously we're the tournament organisers, so we're here to oversee things, enter the results, make sure everything's going smoothly. So we brought our hardest list that we can, and we want to show you how it's fucking done.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, I see. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, just a few more teams. We have the Gut Guard. We have another Sons of Behemoth list. Which
All named.
they are all named, but I think we've seen this exact list before. So this one's the club with the first Oak one. It's interesting that
For
they're
the
all
third
stompers.
time.
Is that just what you run now?
They're all stompers, and they're all the exact same shit.
Yep. Alright.
Although he's got something wrong there. He's got Artifact, Manticore Venom, and he's got a spell.
Oh, okay. We need to fix that. Alright. Echo Papa is running a Zinch list. Again, another
Got the
double
horrors,
chicken one.
yeah.
But he's got the horrors
Got the
in this
horrors.
time. Yeah.
And that spell again, that semi
Yeah,
circumsection thing.
The
yeah.
third chicken.
Yeah.
It's actually 3 chickens. Just one of them's on
Yeah.
fire and a bit temperamental, you know. Yeah, this is a
Sorry.
hard list to play. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to play. I want him to get some good matchups. So he can kind of stretch out a
People
bit.
think this was an AOS2 tournament or something, like these Inch players.
Yeah, this looks like
Right.
an AOS2 list, doesn't it? Yeah.
It was Casper's AOS2 double chicken list, and it was very good, but this is AOS3 now, guys. Sorry.
All right, we have another Glotkin list. I like this one because I like Festus.
It's got a good mix. It's got a good mix of stuff.
Yeah. You got both the Blight Lords and the drones in the battle line. He's droning guards, the same as me, so -1 to hit on the drones. Yeah,
1 unit in drones though.
I think underestimate Glotkin at your peril. Do not pair him into Vanguard Raptors because he doesn't like them very much. But other than that, he should be okay. Yeah. Okay.
Another Marathi Bow Snakes list
Uh.
with a shark in it.
Oh, I've put the old list in. Whoops. Yeah, that's supposed to be 2 sharks. Sorry, I'll fix that up.
They've got the old cost.
Yeah, we fixed that up. I just forgot to fix it. I'll put that in.
There's Marathi Bow Snakes with two sharks, is it?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Cool. You can do some piling stuff with the. Has he got the old?
No, he's got the
No.
harpoon, which is better. It's just for some shooting, and like they're pretty good value. I like
Yeah,
it.
they're good value. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, you don't need. This is what I mean. It's Marathi, the Bow Snakes, and then you don't need anything else. So take what you want.
Okay, and then we got Stormcast with we got more of a
Tornadoes
lean
and
into the
Raptors.
Fulminators here, but Gardas usual shenanigans. Not much to say
So
there.
this is the list, but instead of dragons, he's got fulminators, which I
Yeah,
don't mind.
that's
I think they're
literally the only difference.
I think they're interchangeable, so that's fine.
And
He
it's
hasn't got
gone
the
Relictor.
Celestin, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
instead of the Castellant. So
I like the
another difference.
Castellan personally. The +1 saves good.
okay, and then we have
Oh, this is
a
great.
legend running Excelsis, which a friend of the show, Alan, we've tried to get him to run Excelsis, but he won't do it because he can't come up with
He won't.
anything. So
And this is a guy that runs pretty much every army in the game, and he's like, I can't do it. Too bad. But who we got? We got Urta Wanderer, proving Alan that they're the better player. So what have we got?
we got a
got
Griffin, we got
Yeah.
a Phoenix, and then 2 sorceresses and some Dread Spears to help the sorceress. Then we got some chickens, 2 units of 3 chickens, the Demigryph Knights,
Yep.
and then
Haven't seen
40
them in a
Phoenix
while.
Guard.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Excelsius gives you +1 to hit,
On a
or
2-up.
-1 to hit if you roll a 1, which is great.
Yeah.
Love that. Great rule. And then it has a pretty duff command trait, I think.
I don't think
Contract stuff?
I don't think it does much. I don't think any of them do much,
No.
to be honest.
I think the one good thing we could find was the spell, which he hasn't taken. As a spell, which is basically bounce back mortal wounds on a 6 or
Oh,
something
that
like
one.
that. Or is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
command?
that one.
It's a command. No, it's the command ability. And the idea was get Phoenix Guard bouncing back mortal wounds on a 6-up instead of a 4-up because you're not in Warding Brand Hollow Heart.
Okay. Yep.
But he hasn't even gone for that. So he's shown us. So those Demigryph Knights are going to be -1 to hit when they roll a 1, which is going to be really great. Can't wait to see that.
Okay, but best of luck, and yep, congratulations for having the balls to go Excelsius. 'Cause it's-
Funky list in there, wasn't they?
Yeah.
Some interesting shit.
Okay.
Well, the losers got an interesting name here. Detro.
It's
Ashen
running
Hero,
Reapers of
running his
Vengeance.
Khorne.
Yep.
Hmm?
2 units of Wrathmongers.
Oh, that's big. Scarblood Wrath. This is the first Scarblood Wrath in Khorne that we've seen, because we've seen him in Nurgle, but not in Khorne.
Yeah, that's true. So just the Blood Tithe generation. I don't know, that pretty standard. I think he's only got just 2 Bloodthirsters, right? Yeah, just the Scarbrand and the
Scarbrand.
Bloodthirster, and then the Demon Prince
I don't hate that. That's fine. That's
with
enough.
the free CP artifact. Yep.
Down, yeah, to use it once, which is very good. Which is what you want
Okay.
from a Khorne Demon Prince.
All right,
Now,
let's zoom
this
through
is-
these so we can do the matchups.
Oh, sorry. Oh, fucking hell, it's nearly 2:30.
Yeah.
Jesus, I've got work soon.
Okay.
Right.
Beast of Chaos, a little bit less spammy. This one is not
Are you
in
joking?
Allegiance. Well,
Is it a bit less spammy? Look
well,
at
it's
this.
not the same. It's not the same thing over and over again.
It's a bit of Dragon Ogres, bit of Bulgurs.
Yeah, bit of bigger Bulgurs. Love a bit of a Bulgur.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's got spell portal in there. Okay, and
He's got
then
the spell portal for the shag off spell, Stuart. The shag off spell's good.
what the?
Alright.
Has he even got it?
He's-
No,
Yeah.
I think he's doing it for
How-
Grass Rack or the Grey Shaman, to be honest.
I think that no, there's like a half movement spell. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
Hailstorm, but I think that already has like 30-inch range or something, doesn't it?
I think it's only 21.
Oh,
He needs
okay.
to make it bigger.
Alright.
Yeah.
Cauldron, Running Storm. No, sorry, Living City. With Frostar Phoenix, and this is kind of the TM build, isn't it? But he's got Gotrek in there. That's the one change. Yep.
Be able to get a Phoenix 6 Fulminators in Gotrek in a list legally, man. That's bollocks.
It is, but it's not that much board presence, so
No,
you know.
it's going to really struggle with ball presence. It's very low in bodies, and I don't like Gotrek here, but he's still strong. So
Yep. Feith
probably
running
the strongest
Slanesh.
list so far in this. Yep, hero. He's gone for something similar to Tavi, except he's got Glutos. Do it. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I haven't painted up, sitting in the cabinet. Haven't used him since like March last year, but yeah.
And he's got Sigvald as well. Good old Siggy.
I mean, I think they're the best units. So
Except he's not deep striking.
no, because he's in Godseekers, because he wants to
So
actually
work
play the
that
game.
one out. Is he now terrible?
No,
Probably,
no,
yes.
I think he's okay. I think Sigvald's like
Yeah?
he's okay. And then yeah, just pippy stuff to get the generation and the mirror because it's good. Okay, and then Soul Black Gravelords, the only Castellai I think in the tournament with Vordry.
Three big boys.
Yep.
Alfred, Vengaboy, Vordry, and Blood Knights. Colonel Monty's been running this for a while, and getting quite well practiced with it. He's got the 20 Graveguard in this time to do some slapping. Do they like the buffs? I really like the Vengaboy. I think he's cool with the commander, the fragment of the keeper, and all that sort of stuff. He's great.
Hmm.
You don't
Yeah,
think so?
I think maybe I don't know if this list is as good as it used to be. Yeah, I don't know. I think with Nagash it used to be really good, but I think you probably just want the board presence with the other stuff. But you know, as we were saying before, like you can always go Timmy with Soulblood Gravelords, and this is an example of that. Okay, we got KO in Barak Nar.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, no
Really
one runs
bad.
Barak Nar.
That's terrible.
But you get you basically get a bunch of free unbinds. That's more or less the gist of it. And
One Ironclad because he doesn't want the Alpha Beast pack. Because why would you want that?
and he's got the battering ram. Yep. And some riggers.
That's I think it's a bit of a self-nerfed KO
Yeah,
list. Love it. Big fan.
possibly. Okay, and then just the last one before we do the matchup.
I didn't expect this one. Sorry.
Oh,
The
got him.
Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
Got 'em. But the other Spanish team, starting off with some Gargants.
Yes, the only takers.
Is it the taker? Yeah, the only taker one. So he's gone for everything being 30 models on the stuff, and he's got one of each and a double Kraken.
All right,
He's got some spells in there too.
Blood Tubes.
God.
It's the list. Moving on.
Yeah.
Soul Black Gravelords. Again, I feel
40
like
Graveguard. I like this.
yeah, this one's got more stuff. I think this one's better. So
Yeah. 40 Graveguard and 60 zombies and Manfred. That's a lot of threats there. I quite like that.
got the Spade Bastard in there. You know, bring the zombies
I
back.
like this. This might be one of my favourite ones.
This one's
actually.
good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
Okay. Then Nurgle with a load of Beast of Nurgle.
Spamming.
Now this guy is running the best version of it. Well, I think I probably wouldn't run 2 Lord of Afflictions, but other than that, I think this is great for the Beast of Nurgle spam. This is good. Yep. Okay, and
Underestimate that.
Marathi and the Bow Snakes.
Seeing the bow snakes. Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like we've seen all this before, Stuart.
And Living Cities with Fulminators and Storm Drake Guard.
This
Yep.
is Philip's list. He's managed
But
to get
with
30
the
crossbowmen in there as well.
but with
Yeah.
the crossbowman instead of the. This is the
Instead of
LVO
the
list, I
Phoenix.
think. I think this is the
Yeah.
LVO list. Yeah. The
Oh,
one.
that's Jorge? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Jorge knows what he's doing.
All right.
So
That's a strong team.
that
Definitely.
brings us to the. That's a very strong team. That brings us to the end of the lists. So 18 teams, Stuart.
Yeah.
108 players. This is some really strong stuff. Some absolute dog shit. I'm really looking forward to see how they get on.
All right. We will
Before we
now
do the
click the match.
matchups-
Oh, before we do the matchups,
No,
yep.
before we do the matchups, it's a Release the Beast tournament, so make sure that you keep up to date with the game summaries. If you play a game, put it in the game summaries chat on the Discord. Make sure that you do all the matchup process which we described at the start of the video. Read the pack if you're unsure about it, and message me, Stuart, or any of the other TOs if you have any problems. You can ping the TOs if you need it. And we wish everyone good luck in their matchups. And here's to another tournament. It's going to be great.
Okay,
Right,
I'm doing the
Stuart.
matchups.
We
Okay.
have got some Big Apples versus Beatdown. We have got chosen. You're going too
Sorry,
fast.
sorry.
Going too fast. You've got Ray's team, which
Oh, that's fun. Yeah,
had some nasty lists, so that's going to be a good game. You got the losers versus Team Australia. You got the stoners versus the Spanish guys. The other Spanish guys versus the Armed and Fabulous. We've got not too bad versus me and my merry band. I can't remember what not
So
too bad.
not
had.
too bad versus very bad.
Bad, yeah. You got the Edge of Beget French guys versus the Gut Guard. Nosgoth versus Not in the Face, and my favourite matchup is the.
Oh,
Excessive
that's
Mono.
great. Yeah,
That is the TTS. That's the TTS international squad there.
yeah.
You know, all the guys that met on TTS playing each other. So that's good. They all know each other. All of those 12 players know each other very well. So that's going to be a really good matchup. All right, guys. Stuart, you got anything you want to say to the guys before we sign off?
Yep, just matchups due midday GMT Wednesday. I'll post the Google form to put in the matchups. You don't have to do it live like the way we did at the start of the show. You can just do it by a message, but I just find that's a fun and quick way to get it done. Yep.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for listening to episode 2 of the Miscast, where we're talking about Release the Beast 3 teams. Good luck in the tournament, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.